And welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys being with us. After all this time, we're back up and running, and we're going to hit the ground running here as we get into the month of July. All-Star break is right around the corner. Trade deadline right after that. A lot of things going around in the sports world right now. We'll dig into NBA free agency while we watch the game, NHL free agency. The NFL is coming up in about a month and change. So make sure you keep it here at the Upside Sports Network. Make sure you hit that subscribe and hit that like button. Without further ado, let's get to the game. All right, so today's game, we got the Houston Astros versus the Texas Rangers. Martin Perez on the mound for the Rangers today, hoping to salvage this four-game set against the Houston Astros. They lost the opener, came back, won the second game, lost again last night, and so we'll see if they're able to gut this one out here. Jose Altuve led off one of these games anyway with a home run first pitch the other day, and he quickly finds himself ahead 2-1 here. Martin Perez has pitched very well at home, but the Rangers have struggled mightily offensively over the past month or so. They are no longer the high-hitting team that they were the first couple months of the season, where they were basically hitting over 300, over 400 at times with runners in scoring position. They've been on a long drought as far as that's concerned. We'll see if they can fix that today. And ball forward there as Perez again struggles to find the zone. That's one thing we're going to have to pay attention to with Martin Perez as we get down the stretch here in the season, is how that command is going to go. So far this year, he's already given up as many, if not more, home runs than he did all of last year. He struggled with his command a little bit, and he struggled as far as finding those corners. That's really what Martin Perez does really well, as far as locating his pitches right on the periphery of the zone, getting the benefit of the wider strike zone. With the robo-umps coming into play later on, as this one's hit right down the line and just fouled by Mauricio Dubon. And I mean just foul. That one just crossed outside of the foul pole. The ricochet made all the fans think it was a home run, but it was not. Welcome in. Appreciate you for joining us. Dubon has been probably one of the few bright spots for the Houston Astros team so far this year. Amid all of their injuries, Altuve has missed time. They've had a number of starting pitchers go down due to injury. They're kind of piecing it together right now, and yet they're still only 4+ games back. We'll kind of check out the standings after this half inning anyway, but Perez finds himself ahead quickly 0-2 here on Dubon, hitting 288, 4 homers, 19 RBIs, and a 727 OPS. He was the guy that filled in for Altuve for that 2-month period, but right now he's playing a lot of shortstop, kind of bouncing all over the infield a little bit. Doing pretty well. How about you? Doing pretty well. But posted a couple of videos for the first time in a while anyway. We're getting back into that. Starting a sports card business anyway on eBay. You guys can check that out as soon as we finish rolling that out. That will be rolled out here within the week. And going to have some giveaways for those of you who have been joining us over the past year or so. We've kind of talked a little bit about doing some giveaways in the future. Well, it seems like that time is just about here. So once we get that eBay store up, we will get that going and start doing some of our giveaways. 2-2 now on Dubon. That one finishes beneath the zone, and Perez unable to locate his pitches so far here. His second, third, 3-ball count out of 2 hitters. Houston comes into the game 46-38. Texas 50-34. Curious to see if Altuve gets a jump on this pitch. This one's a high drive, deep right field. Going back is Garcia at the wall. Jumps, makes the catch. Was it off the wall, though? Altuve scampers back to first and is able to get back in there. I don't think he went off the ball. I think that was just a great catch by Adolis Garcia, the all-star right fielder for the Texas Rangers, who is actually in discussions to possibly be in the home run derby. We shall see. It looks like Altuve was off with the pitch as he had to scamper back. Nice leap there in front of the high wall there in right field. Garcia makes a nice catch there right at the wall. You always hear a lot about his arm. You don't hear a whole lot about his glove. Well, there you go. You get to see a little bit of that athleticism. Rangers are certainly happy to have his productive bat in the lineup, and it's a cost-controlled bat for the better part of his career because he did break in with the Rangers at an older age when he finally broke in at the major league level and found some success. Tucker, who hit that long home run yesterday, digs into the box now, 1-0. Hitting 285, 12 homers, 51 RBIs, and an 827 OPS. This is a guy I think is going to have a monster second half. So if you had to add anybody to your fantasy team, this is a guy you want. And just as I say that, he plays a little wall ball. Flips this one into right field, gets a double, second and third now, 1 out. Martin Perez once again struggling with his command. Say it with me. Command, command, command. He is just not locating where that pitch should have been. That one was right on the barrel for Tucker. I think that pitch was supposed to finish a little further. First pitch here to Bregman. In there on the inside corner, strike 1. After Bregman, it'll be Abreu, followed by McCormick, Diaz, Julks, and Maldonado. Not exactly Springer, pieces like that in the lineup anymore. Correa's not in this lineup anymore. Right now they're without Pena. No longer Garrett Cole or Verlander in this rotation. McCullers is out. They lost another starter due to Tommy John as well. So this is definitely kind of a mash unit team as Bregman pops this one up infield. Or it's not going to be infield fly because there was nobody on first, but a nice catch there by Lowe nonetheless for the second out of the inning. Jose Abreu, who was hyped up to be one of the most perfect fit free agent signings of this offseason, and I would have thought so too. In fact, I did say so at the time, but he has not found any success so far with the Houston Astros. Don't get me wrong, he still has a couple of game-winning hits, those kinds of things, but he's not hitting, nearly as well as we're expecting Jose Abreu to hit, hitting 240 right now. 6 home runs, 41 RBIs, and a 635 OPS. Now 1-1 on Abreu. Perez again missing badly with his control a little bit there. Well outside. It is the first inning. Maybe he just needs to get a little bit more comfortable in the game. If you're a Rangers fan, you want to see Perez really start to get a little momentum going, as this one's just foul of first base. 1-2. Brantley, of course, isn't in the lineup. This is a team that's going through a lot of changes in Houston, but yet they're still a top-flight organization as far as their ability to continue to put out a very good starting rotation, homegrown talent all across the diamond. This one's well outside, kind of off the end of the bat, lined softly to Simeon, who corrals it for the third out of the inning. Nice work there. Adolis Garcia with that catch all the way up against the wall, leaping catch there, and it remains scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first. For the Rangers, it'll be Simeon at second base, Seager at short, Lowe at first. Pretty much the same top three it's been all year with the occasional fill-in here and there. Adolis Garcia hits fourth, Josh Young fifth, Jonah Heim sixth. That's pretty much been your consistent 1 through 6 in the lineup. Then you get a little bit of differentiation. Usually this is where you see guys like Mitch Garver, Ezekiel Duran, who's going through a little bit of a rough patch right now, Travis Jankowski, Robbie Grossman, Josh Smith, Leody Tavares. And today, because of the struggles of Duran, he is not in the lineup today, plus he's a right-handed hitter. So they're going to go with the lefty Jankowski out there in left today instead of Duran. Tavares moves up one spot anyway, with Josh Smith coming in the lineup as the DH today. Tavares hitting .299, one of the best center fielders in all of baseball right now. If you haven't paid attention to the Rangers and their success, a lot of it has to do with the success at the bottom of that lineup with Duran, Jankowski, Tavares. They've been fantastic. Welcome back, Bush. Appreciate you for coming back. But that's kind of where the success has really been coming from. All the RBIs that the top of the order has been getting. Simeon in the top 5. Seager's right up there, even though he missed a whole month of the season. Lowe is up there. Garcia's been up there all season. And Josh Young has struggled at times in the past month or so, but he won the American League Rookie of the Month anyway in April and May. And he's certainly on track to be one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year in the American League this year. Jonah Heim gets the All-Star start at catcher. Josh Young, the All-Star start at third base. Corey Seager and Marcus Semien at short and second, respectively. And it sounds like Garcia might get the start there with Aaron Judge being out due to injury. First pitch here by Christian Javier. Misses about a foot above the zone. 1-0. The thing this Rangers lineup does like to do is they like to attack the ball early in the count, especially with the top of that order, Simeon and Seager both. If the ball is in the strike zone, they're going to swing at it. So if you can execute your pitches, if you're an opposing pitcher, you can induce some weak contact if you can control where you throw it. However, if you're just trying to get, an easy first pitch of the game strike, this lineup can make you pay. This one, another high pitch right at the top of the zone. The 2-0 is popped up. It will be Dubon who corrals it for the first out of the bottom of the first. Corey Seager hitting .351. As I mentioned, he missed a whole month of the season due to injury. Rangers have been a little bit careful with him since he's come back since then, but he's absolutely been knocking the cover off the ball. .351 average, over 1,000 OPS. And as I mentioned, he will swing early in the count, so if you execute your pitch, you can succeed. This one right at the bottom of the zone, high drive, deep center. In front of the warning track, McCormick has room and makes the catch. Nathaniel Lowe due up next, hitting .276, 802 OPS. He's the lone infielder for the Rangers that did not secure an All-Star start or an All-Star reserve spot either. And he's the only one to have received the Silver Slugger Award last year. So good things could be in store for the second half of the season for Nathaniel Lowe. He was the best hitting first baseman in the entire American League last year. So we'll see if he can kind of heat up as the second half gets going. His process in the first couple of months of the season was a little bit different than what we saw at the end of last year. And I think that's kind of the changes he was trying to make to his swing a little bit, his pitch selection, those kinds of things. And I think now he's finally starting to become the Nathaniel Lowe that we expected to see coming into the year. Off speed at the top of the zone, fouled away, and it's 1-2. Javier, a good strikeout artist. Looking for his first one here today. High drive again, center field. Plenty of room once again for McCormick. And that's the third out of the inning. Christian Javier, interesting note on there, is winless in his last 4 starts. We'll see if he can get the series win here for the Astros today. But after 1, it's 0-0 as we go to the second. We mentioned we'd check in on some of the standings from around Major League Baseball as things stand right now. We'll go division by division to start. Tampa Bay has pretty much led all of baseball as far as best record in the league, pretty much the entire season until recently. The Braves, who have secured 8 all-star spots on the National League side, and all the entire infield right now is are going to be starting for the National League side are from the Atlanta Braves. But Tampa Bay is absolutely a dominant team in the American League. Just look at how good this division is. If I can get it to speed up here. There we go. Tampa at 57-30, leading the division, but the entire division has a winning record. Tells you how good the AL East is. Baltimore is a very good team as well. Adley Rutschman just was announced as a home run derby participant. 49-33, 5.5 games back. Even with being 16 games above 500, they're still 5.5 back in the division from the Rays. Yankees are third without Aaron Judge. Very impressive record, and they're about to get Carlos Rodon to make his first start of the season. Toronto Blue Jays had some up and down performances so far this season from them, both offensively and on the mound. Alex Manoah, if you haven't heard, has been optioned to the minor leagues, is absolutely getting lit up in the minor leagues. We're talking about high A ball, where he's giving up 11 runs in 2 innings. So it seems like he's got something serious going on as far as whether it's mechanics, the yips, just not being able to execute his pitches where they need to go. He looks like he's a very long way from returning to the rotation there for the Blue Jays, so they may be looking at some rotation upgrades at the deadline. We mentioned the Rangers are without Jacob deGrom. They could be another team that's expected to add here at the deadline. Even as good as their rotation has been, they could use a 5th starter, somebody who could actually take the ball in a playoff game for them. Might be a nice thing for them to go after. Looking at the Mets, maybe they decide to sell at the deadline. Maybe Scherzer could be available, Verlander. Some other top flight options could be out there, Eduardo Rodriguez, etc. And Perez is back out there and quickly falls behind 3-0 to Chas McCormick, again struggling to find the strike zone. That one right at the knees, grooved in there, 3-1. Rounding out the AL East, it's Boston at 43-42. They were expected to be in the cellar. They certainly made some nice improvements to their bullpen, and that's, I think, the biggest reason for the success. Plus, they're having nice years from Justin Turner. McCormick thought that one was a little bit outside, but able to get the call is Perez. And that's, again, where Perez lives. If he's able to get that call consistently, he should have a successful day. But so far, he hasn't been able to throw the ball there consistently, first. And second, that's really the first time we've seen a borderline call go his way. So we'll see if he's able to execute it once again. The 3-2 pitch. Deep left center field, going back at the wall and gone into the visitors' bullpen. Chas McCormick, leadoff home run here in the top of the second, and the Astros jump out to the 1-0 lead. His 8th home run of the season. We mentioned how that Martin Perez had basically given up as many home runs as he did all of last year in just as few starts so far this year. And that's got to be a troublesome sight here for the Rangers as he grooves another pitch to an Astros hitter. Now, Perez does pitch much better at home. We'll see if he's able to knuckle down here a little bit, but just middle fastball. That's going to be knocked over the fence every time. These are professional hitters. Fouled off here by Diaz, 0-1. Now look at this record right here. Boston, as we mentioned, is in the cellar of the AL East. The first place team in the AL Central is the Minnesota Twins. I expect them to get better, don't get me wrong, but they have a losing record. Right now, Boston would be on top in the American League Central. Tells you just how different those divisions are very, very different from one another. You're looking at teams in this division that are very likely to sell. Maybe even teams that are in second place in this division could think about selling just because of the performance of the division as a whole. The 0-2 pitch, grounded foul once again by Diaz, and they'll do it again. But Minnesota on top, Cleveland in there at second. I expect them to be right around the top of the division. Even if they do sell at the deadline, they should still compete with the Twins for the top of this division. A little bit of a surprise. Detroit's been able to hang around, but that's more of a symptom of the how bad the division is. I think if Minnesota was actually being able to hold down this division with any consistency, this would be a runaway freight train. The White Sox have been absolutely abysmal. I think they're likely to sell here at the deadline. Now, you could say this, they could try to make one last hurrah at it with the core that they have. Nice hard hit ball, left or right center field. That one's gone. Back-to-back home runs. Wow. Thought he got it a little bit more off the end of the bat, but it seems like he got some good wood on that one. And another home run given up here by Martin Perez. I imagine we're going to see a mound visit here. Jonah Heim is going out to the mound. We'll see if Mike Maddox comes out as well. Again, just middle, right at the bottom of the zone for Perez. Just unable to execute his... Wow, just unable to execute there. Just... Rangers would like to get a little bit of length out of their starter today. Heaney only went 5 the other day. Or only went 5 yesterday. But this is a team that's had a good starting rotation this year, even without having Jacob deGrom in there for much of the season. He's expected to be back next season. Another one right down the middle, line back through the box and into center. And Julks gets a base hit here. Perez just does not have location here today. I would not be surprised if we see the Rangers make a quick bullpen call here with Glenn Otto, who's recently back up from the minors. You do not want to get this or let this game get too far away from you. And you got a couple of options out there that could be long relievers for you today. You don't necessarily want to burn him, but if he's throwing pitches right down Broadway, you got to do something. Off speed on the inner half of the plate, about thigh high, if you will. Maldonado, the number 9 hitter, 174 average, 5 home runs. He does have a lot of pop in that bat, so just because he's a good defensive player, don't let that fool you. He still has the ability to make the Rangers pay if you're not going to throw a quality pitch to him. Perez up to 33 pitches through 1 inning plus. Astros lead 2-0 on the strength of 2 home runs. Nice pitch just off the outside corner. Gets Maldonado able to chase that one. 0-2. That one finishes low, 1-2. That's one thing I'd like to see Martin Perez try to do here with the number 9 hitters. Just try to attack the strike zone a little bit. Not be afraid of contact. He's very good at inducing ground ball double plays, and that's what you could easily do here with Maldonado. Of course, Maldonado in his career off of Perez is hitting .478 with a home run, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs, and 5 strikeouts. And he has a healthy amount of experience against him, 11 for 23. This one too far outside. And those are non-competitive pitches back-to-back for Perez to even up the count. Now he's got to come back into the strike zone here. Otherwise, he risks yet another 3-ball count. And again, I would not be surprised to see the Rangers get that bullpen going if Maldonado reaches here. This one just off the outside corner. Good pitch there. Able to foul it off is Maldonado. And we'll do it once again. The 2-2 pitch. Inside, tempting pitch, but unable to get Maldonado to chase. And it's now 3-2. Again, he's struggled with his command here so far. He's walked a batter, given up a couple home runs so far today. Already 4 hits in the game for the Astros, and they've only had 3 outs recorded against him. Perez bobblehead night will be coming up here in about a week and a half. The 3-2 fouled off by Maldonado, making Perez work a little bit. I think the Rangers would really like to see him at least get through 5 with as high as a pitch count as he already has, but I think that's a little bit wishful thinking because it does not look like Martin Perez is very crisp, very sharp with his stuff today. The lefty set, and the pitch. Right on the outside corner, fouled away again by Maldonado. I think these pitches are a little too high for where they're wanting them to be. I think they want to get that pitch down a little bit. Induce ground ball contact, not fly ball. We'll see if he's able to execute here. The 3-2 pitch by Perez. Right back to the screen. Again, a pitch up in the zone. Maybe that's where they think the hole in his zone is, I guess. But if I'm Perez, I'm pitching to contact here. I want to see a ground ball, not a fly ball. Perez is not a strikeout pitcher by trade. Multiple balls have now been fouled off. The set and the pitch. And he finally loses him. Maldonado takes a walk here. Mike Maddox coming out to the mound, and I imagine we're going to see some bullpen action here. 2 runs in, no outs recorded here in the top of the second. Runners on first and second now in the top of the order coming around. Rangers are struggling mightily so far here today, at least on the mound. It'll be Altuve who took a leadoff walk back in the first inning. We've seen 4 hits so far, 2 walks. 6 base runners have reached here today. You have an all-star infield behind you. I'm not understanding why Perez is trying to pitch to get the strikeout on that one. Or pitching up in the zone, period, instead of just trying to get the ground ball. Here's Altuve. First pitch here from Perez after a long stare down of second. This one's below the zone, popped up. Short center field, coming in as Taveras, has plenty of time, makes the catch, and the first out here in the second inning. That was a big out there for Texas. They absolutely needed that one. Perez missed his location quite a bit, but Altuve chased it, got underneath it, and popped it up. But Rangers will take it either way. Success has got to start somewhere if you're Perez. Dubon is up. First pitch beneath the zone. They checked first base, but he did not go. 1-0. I know we've gained quite a few people here with our couple of Rangers videos that I've made today. If you guys want to check those out here on YouTube, you can in between innings if you'd like. But we've gained quite a few subscribers today just on our Rangers content alone, so we appreciate you for joining us. I am based in Texas, so I do get quite a few viewers from the Texas area. And it is indeed Glenn Otto loosening out there in the bullpen. 2-0. Make it 3-0. Perez is just not close with these pitches. I imagine he's at least going to face Tucker. And if Tucker reaches, if Dubon walks here, I think that's going to be it for Perez. I think they'll go to Otto for Bregman. So we'll see what happens here if Perez can buckle down and get things locked up. There's a strike right at the bottom of the zone. See if Perez can throw another one here. Really struggling with his command, up to 47 pitches already. Dubon, hard hit ball right over the glove of Seager. Jankowski collects it and will hold the runner there at third. Bases will be loaded for Kyle Tucker And this is going to be make or break time for Martin Perez here. He's got a couple of home runs already given up. He's walked a couple of batters so far today. That's the 5th hit now for the Astros. Rangers have only been able to record 4 outs so far today. I think if Tucker gets a base hit, sac fly, a walk, I think that's going to be it for Perez one way or the other. I think we're going to see Glenn Otto come in here as long as he's ready to face Bregman. This one just off the plate, able to foul it off is Tucker. 0-1. Tucker's career with the bases loaded in 50 appearances anyway. He's got a .420 average with 3 grand slams. So we'll see who gets the better of it, the left-on-left matchup here. This one well inside, almost hits Tucker on the elbow. A little bit of a quick pitch, but not called. Again, Perez just does not look comfortable out there. He's not hitting his spots. He's varying his rhythm a little bit. Now it looks like he's speeding things up. That one beneath the zone, fouled off again by Tucker. He hasn't thrown one over the plate yet in this at-bat, yet he has a 1-2 advantage here. We'll see if he can put Tucker away, who played wall ball in his last at-bat. The 1-2 misses inside again, almost hits him in the elbow once again. It's now 2-2. 2 runs coming in so far on back-to-back home runs to lead off the second inning. Chas McCormick and Diaz. Julks folded it up with a base hit right back through the box. Maldonado got a walk. Altuve popped out for the first out of the inning. And we just saw Dubon flare one out to left to load him up, and here we are with Kyle Tucker. Now a 2-2 count on him after he fouls that one away. 33 pitches so far in the inning for Perez. If he can get a ground ball double play, we could see him back out there for the third. But looking a little tough for that right now, as this one misses the zone. Just high and outside, according to the home plate umpire. Perez had a little bit of a look there, hoping for that call. A little disappointed he didn't get it. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. His success comes when he's getting those calls on the corner. Bochy and Mike Maddox exchange a few words on the side. This one's fouled off again. That would have been ball 4. And we'll do the 3-2 once again. 10-game hitting streak for Tucker, hitting .389. As I mentioned, he's really starting to heat up. He'd probably be the second half MVP in my book. I'm going to go ahead and write that one down for the American League. As good as Shohei Ohtani has been, I think Kyle Tucker is going to be that good offensively for the Astros in the second half. Looks like they're really trying to pound him low and in. And this one, another good pitch right off the inside corner. A little low this time. Probably would have been ball 4 once again. But fouled off by Tucker, and we'll do it once again. Perez up to 56 pitches so far. Last time he had one of these long at-bats, he ended up walking Maldonado. Looks like Otto is ready out there in the bullpen. Hard hit ball. Deep right field. Looking up. Grand slam home run. Houston takes a 6-0 lead, and that's got to be it for Perez right there. 3 home runs so far in the inning, and Perez probably his worst outing of the season so far. Bochy doesn't even wait for him to finish rounding second base. He's already out of the dugout. He's going to go ahead and yank his starter here. The worst start of Perez's season comes in a game the Rangers absolutely wanted to have, and they've quickly fallen behind 6-0 with only 1 out recorded here in the second inning. And Glenn Otto is coming on for the Rangers. We'll see if he can at least scrape together a few innings to save the bullpen later on. But boy, just a tough start, tough game here for the Rangers. They were hoping to kind of even the series and maintain their lead in the division, but they're going to lose some ground here. Astros are going to gain some on the division leading on the Rangers today, But again, it's still only the second inning. It is early. The Rangers' offense, all those types of things. But 6-0 hole at home is certainly nothing to sneeze at. And we'll see if the Astros can wrangle this one to the finish for themselves. But boy, leadoff home run by McCormick in the second, followed up by a back-to-back home run with Diaz. Julks a base hit, Maldonado a walk, Altuve the pop-out, Dubon a base hit, and now the grand slam by Tucker. 4 RBIs now in the game, obviously on that grand slam. His second extra base hit of the game. Glenn Otto pitched well in his last outing for the Rangers, in his debut of the season for the Rangers, if you will. Pitched well last year to a 4+ ERA. Well for a guy who hadn't had a whole lot of Major League experience. Maybe he'll take another step like Dane Dunning did this year, but it's going to have to start pretty much immediately here for the Rangers if they're going to have any chance to win this game. They really need Otto to probably go 4 innings here to at least get him through the 5th inning. If they can get 4 innings out of Otto here, I think they would probably be very thankful for that, if they can at least get that. But right now, that's a tall task. This bullpen has not had a great track record of success so far this year. Even with the addition of Aroldis Chapman, they do not necessarily want to use him in a situation where there's not really a chance to win the game, where it's not competitive at least. First pitch here by Otto, strike 1 there. It's one thing this new coaching group has for the Rangers anyway, is they want to see strikes being thrown. And Perez just was not doing that today. Otto so far throwing strikes. Off speed right on the outside corner. Lifted into deep center, right on the edge of the warning track is Taveras to make the catch for the second out of the inning. 1 up, 1 down here for Glenn Otto. Former Yankees prospect came over in that Joey Gallo trade, along with Josh Smith, who's in the lineup today, Ezekiel Duran, who's taken the day off today as his struggles. He's 0 for 12 so far in this series with 8 punch-outs. This one misses well outside, ball 1. Jose Abreu is in the batter's box, hitting .239. See if the Astros can add to their lead a little bit here. As I mentioned in the videos that I made earlier today, if you want to check those out here at the Upside Sports Network, you can check out those. You can also check out our other page as well, Upside Texas Rangers, starting to roll out more and more channels. You can check out some of the content on the Aroldis Chapman trade and what needs to be done going forward for the Rangers. Now, we mentioned that the Rangers added Aroldis Chapman. They could add some more bullpen pieces or even a starter to this lineup, or to this rotation, if you will, mainly because they don't really have a bona fide number 2 guy that they can go to in a playoff series. Sure, they could go with Gray. They could go with Perez. But Perez has certainly had his struggles, as we just saw here today. Gray struggled in his start against the Houston Astros, giving up 4 runs in the 6th inning in the opening game of the series. Heaney's had his up-and-down performances so far this year. I think he's probably more of a long reliever in a playoff series, if you will. 2-2 count here to Abreu. The set and the pitch. Down beneath the zone gets Abreu to chase for strike 3. But the damage is done. 3 home runs, including a grand slam by Kyle Tucker, and the Astros lead it 6-0 after 1.5. We mentioned the Rangers could certainly use some improvements to that bullpen, not just with the Aroldis Chapman move. I think they could use at least one more setup guy, maybe in the likes of Liam Hendricks, Joe Kelly, David Robertson, Adam Ottavino. Those are a couple of the names I mentioned out there. But there's going to be a number of different relievers that are going to be on the market as we get closer to the trade deadline. You also have to look at some long relief options out there. Sure, they could count on guys like Glenn Otto, and if he proves today that he can handle that type of role coming out of the bullpen as opposed to starting the game, then maybe they solve that piece specifically from within. But I still think they're going to need at least 2 more relievers before we consider the work done in that bullpen. We've seen Jonathan Hernandez get pushed around a little bit on the mound, struggling with his command, giving up the long ball. Jose Leclerc not being able to find the strike zone, although he's pitched better as of late. when I say as of late, in like 2 appearances. So by no means is anything settled back there for him. Joe Barlow came back, looked good, but has started to give up some contact now. They tried John King. They just optioned him back down after he's struggled at times, inducing weak contact. When you're not a strikeout pitcher anyway, you live and die by the contact that you give up. When you're a ground ball pitcher, if it goes to the fielders, looks great. If it doesn't, then you're getting seeing eye single after seeing eye single. There's really nothing you can do to stop it. And having a strikeout pitcher like Spore's in that bullpen, who's pitched well, even though he coughed up the game yesterday anyway. Will Smith and Aroldis Chapman, who throw a lot of strikes and have a high quantity of strikeouts, they could use some other guys back there who have a very similar skill set that don't struggle with their command. Now the Rangers, hoping to kind of claw their way back into this one a little bit, at least take 1 or 2 runs back here in the bottom half of the second. They will send Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, and Jonah Heim to the plate. Garcia, a lot more patient hitter than he's ever had been at any point in his career. Takes strike 1. He is susceptible to still striking out. This year's strikeout percentage down to around 17% for the majority of this season. Usually we see that percentage around 25, 29% by the end of the season. Usually that number spikes a little bit in the second half. So again, another reason why the Rangers could look to add one more bat at the deadline, especially considering their struggles at that DH spot. Right on the inside corner, absolute paint there by Javier. 1-2 is the count here to Garcia. There are a number of bats that they've been linked to already. There was some discussion about them possibly bringing in Andrew McCutchen from the Pittsburgh Pirates. John Paul Morosi of Fox Sports basically saying, yes, they've reached out and had conversations about it. Pretty much immediately after that report came out, Chris Young went to the podium and said, heck no, we have not talked to the Pittsburgh Pirates about trades involving Andrew McCutchen, period. I'm sure they've had those internal discussions about every player on every team in the league internally. But at least as far as contacting the Pittsburgh Pirates, I don't think that step has been taken. I think that was probably a little bit premature on John Paul Morosi, usually a very accurate and reputable reporter. I do not think that the source that he had on that one had the correct information, as vehemently as that was denied by the Rangers brass. And then looking at the Pirates side of this thing, I mean, McCutchen's their heir. I mean, it's the one guy that they can point to and say, this is the guy that shows you the Pirate way. I don't think they would turn around and move him. I think he's going to finish his career as a Pirate. Sure, they could try to move him and get some pieces back to try to build forward, but I don't think that's the way they want to go. Welcome in, Jesus. The Mets acquired Chris Flexen and Trevor Gott. Interesting. I have yet to see that one. We'll check on that one here in just a moment. 3-2 count here on Garcia. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. There it is. Chris Flexen and Trevor Gott. Very interesting. We'll dig into that one here in just a moment, folks. The 3-2 pitch once again. Hit hard, deep right field, going back on it. Tucker makes a kind of a jump in front of the wall and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Good hard contact there by Garcia, trying to get the Rangers back on the board, but just missed that one. Let's check in on that trade, though. Looks like the Seattle Mariners are just starting to sell. A couple of guys that were designated for assignment, though, is mainly what it looks like here. "17 games for the Mariners, logging a 7.71 ERA in 42 innings. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Josh Young fouls this one back, and it's 1-2 here. In our game here so far today, we've seen 3 home runs, all by the Houston Astros. Back-to-back home runs from Chas McCormick and Diaz. And then the grand slam by Kyle Tucker in the top half of the second. That chased Martin Perez from the game. That one finishes above the zone. Josh Young struggled with some strikeouts earlier in the month of June and is starting to kind of work his way back from those struggles that he had in the middle of June and starting to get back to his all-star form that he had in the first couple months of the season. The 2-2 finishes beneath the zone, 3-2. Young was struggling chasing the ball quite a bit in that month of June, but looks like he's starting to lay off more of those pitches. He is the starting third baseman for the American League in the All-Star game, hitting .270, 17 home runs, 50 RBIs. The 3-2 right down Broadway, foul-tipped into the catcher's mitt of Maldonado for the second out of the inning. Young just got underneath that one. That was a good pitch to try to hit, but just could not make solid contact with it. With 2 outs, it'll be up to Jonah Heim to keep things going for the Rangers here in the bottom of the second. Just looking at that trade between the Mets and Mariners, if I had to pick one, I'd have to pick one to win the trade. I'd already say the Mets. The 1-0 pitch by Javier, grounded to first, and that'll be the third out of the inning. After 2, 6-0, all Astros. Let's finish up the standings right now in the American League West anyway. The Texas Rangers, as we mentioned, came into the game today with a 4-game lead on the Astros. It appears that's going to be trimmed a little bit to a 3-game lead now as we kind of narrow down to the All-Star break. Rangers, I'm expecting to probably add one more relief pitcher, maybe a starter, and maybe a DH here at the deadline. I think they're going to be a very active team. We did not see them make any trades ahead of the season, which we expected them to try to address the middle of the order bat that they told us they were bringing in. So be very careful about what teams or what options might be out there for the Rangers. I told you guys before the season maybe Chris Bryant could be a guy that they would look at. He's already missed a month of the season though. I think the Rangers would have to take a deep discount on that one for him to actually be traded. So look at guys who who are on struggling teams right now that might fit in nicely as kind of a fourth outfield DH type for the Rangers to add at the trade deadline. As far as rotation help, there's no shortage of starters that are going to be on the market once we get to a little closer to the deadline, so keep your eyes peeled. We will be live for you guys on deadline day all day long, so make sure you join us for that as well. As we mentioned, the Houston Astros are 4 games back, soon to be 3. Angels have played very well. Shohei Ohtani is having a career year on top of a career year that he had the last year and the year before that and the year before that. Just seems like he gets better every single year. They're 6 games back as we speak right now. Seattle, we just saw them trade away Chris Flexen and Trevor Gott. I don't expect them to compete for a wild card spot either. I think they would like to, but I just don't think they have the ammunition to do it, especially with the injuries that they already have in their lineup and in their rotation. And then, of course, rounding out the division is the Oakland A's, who are actually starting to play a little bit better over the past month. We mentioned the Atlanta Braves have had the best record in all of baseball, and still do right up there with the Rays right now, 56-27. Miami Marlins are playing fantastic baseball. They're 9 games back. They're in wild card position as we speak right now. Philadelphia, 5 games above 500 in the National League East. Mets, as we've mentioned, all the struggles they have, they're 18.5 games back of the Atlanta Braves. They have lost 15 games in the standings behind the Braves in the last 30 days. Little tapper off the bat by McCormick, and the first out here in the 3rd inning. Rounding out the division is the Washington Nationals. They're another team that's going to sell here at the deadline. We're already seeing Candelario's name being whispered about as far as a trade candidate. Was not really excited about the addition for them when they signed him in this offseason. I thought there were some other guys more in the vein of Carlos Santana, veteran leadership guys who would be better fits on this team. And I still stand by that, even though Candelario is having a better year. He will be traded, though, at the deadline. Rangers are one of the teams that are supposedly having interest, according to John Paul Morosi again. But we're still a month away from the deadline, so take everything you hear in the next month with a grain of salt. Strike one here to Yanier Diaz. Tapped off the end of the bat again. Young, nice, cleanly field. Flips on to first. One thing that nobody really mentions is the fielding of Josh Young, and he is an exemplary defensive third baseman. He is fantastic out there, just gobbles everything up. Cuts in front of Corey Seager there, says, no, I got this, and controls it. Cincinnati's taken over things in the NL Central with their hot-hitting rookie anyway. Ellie De La Cruz looks like a superstar already. They got on that long winning streak, and looks like they're starting to get back to, 500 baseball over the last couple weeks anyway. Milwaukee Brewers, I expect to ultimately win the division, but Cincinnati's making a strong case to at least be in contention down the stretch. Pittsburgh as well has had a nice season, but they're 5 games under 500 now as they're starting to fall back a little bit. Cubs as well, they tried to hang on as long as they could. Cardinals, the biggest surprise in that division, 13 games under 500. They will sell at the deadline, mark my words. So look for pieces like Paul Goldschmidt to possibly be on the market, Jack Flaherty, maybe a couple of bullpen pieces, Tyler O'Neill, pieces like that out of that Cardinals lineup that could be moved at the deadline. Julks falls behind here, chases that one beneath the zone, 1 and 2. Looks like Otto's got some good movement on his pitches here today. Julks in his last 12 games, a .316 average, 3 extra base hits, 8 walks. Really kind of the next good Astros player coming up through the ranks anyway, it seems like. That one misses well outside, 2 and 2. Wrapping up the standings anyway, in the NL West, it's a surprising Arizona Diamondbacks on top right now, followed by the Dodgers, kind of in a in-between year for them as they try to pare down their payroll in pursuit of Shohei Ohtani next offseason. Off the end of the bat, fly to center, and Tavares makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for the Rangers. Nice work there by Glenn Otto. San Francisco Giants are a healthy 8 games above 500, well better than what I thought they would be at this point in the season. They're 3.5 games back of the division, and right now they sit in wild card positioning. I think it has a lot to do with the success Gabe Kapler's having at maneuvering that lineup more than anything else. I think they're playing better than the sum of their parts, if you will, and some of their parts are playing better than just the individual pieces. So keep your eyes peeled for what the Giants may be able to do as trying to hold on to that hold on in the wild card range for them. One of the more disappointing teams has to be the San Diego Padres. All the talent that they added this offseason, we could see some big names being moved out of that organization and soon. Xander Bogaerts has tried to lead the effort there from a leadership perspective, saying, come on, why are we losing to teams like the Washington Nationals, literally getting on his team for the way they're losing their games right now. They're 8 games under 500 right now. They're 11.5 back in the division. They're 8 games back of a wild card. They're still technically in range if they can get hot, and I still think they have one more run in them. It's just a matter of whether or not that happens before the trade deadline, because if it doesn't, then this team could look very different after the trade deadline. Sure, they just brought in Xander Bogaerts, but he may quickly say, all right, this ain't enough, or this ain't what I'm signed up for. This is not a good situation for me. So maybe a team out there that's willing to eat some of that contract, let the Padres pay down some of that contract as well, and give the Padres some prospects back. That may be the route the Padres end up having to go. They have some rotation pieces, some bullpen pieces that could be moved at the deadline. You look at Juan Soto. Could he be moved if they're unable to negotiate a long-term deal there? Manny Machado just re-upped for that long-term deal. Could he be a guy that's discussed? Fernando Tatis is another guy we mentioned in the past that could be moved. A lot of long-term money tied up in some big-name players that are just not producing and getting them wins for the San Diego Padres. So we'll see what ultimately happens. Travis Jankowski leads things off for the Rangers in the bottom of the third. Takes strike one from Christian Javier. Rounding out the division, the Colorado Rockies. Now we mentioned that Chris Bryant's already missed time already this year, missed a month of the season already. They're 20 games under 500. He would be a name I could see moved in a deal very similar to the deal that sent Nolan Arenado to the St. Louis Cardinals last year. So keep your eyes peeled for what happens here at the deadline. This one's laced back to the left side into left field for a base hit. Nice work there by Travis Jankowski. by far his best season as a professional. Hitting .310 coming into the game. Just takes that one where it was thrown. Nice work there. And that speed plays. He will not hit for a lot of power. He'll get the odd extra base hit just from his speed. But his thing is mainly just making contact, playing premium defense, and does exactly what Bruce Bochy needs for this Rangers team. I think he's going to be the fourth outfielder for the Rangers as we go into the playoffs. I think Ezekiel Duran has all but locked up that left field spot, but I think they could use one more bat outfield type player, DH, fourth, fifth outfielder. You're looking at holes on this roster at backup catcher, at backup first baseman, pieces like that. Brad Miller is on this team. He will not be on the postseason roster, I guarantee you. Robbie Grossman had a decent couple of months of the season, but he's hitting around 219 right now, 215, and I do not expect him to remain as their only guy back there as far as a depth option. Looking at his numbers, 219. Garver's had his ups and downs in the lineup, now down to 238 with the average. This one's fouled off. Jankowski was moving on that one. Leody Taveras is in the box. Jesus asks, do you think the Angels end their playoff drought this season and make more moves at the trade deadline? First question, do I think they will end their playoff drought? Yes, I think they're playing pretty well. I don't think they're playing, as one of the top 5 teams in the American League, but I think they're going to have enough to be able to hold on to the one of the final 2 wild card spots in the American League. I think the Houston Astros, high fly ball, deep right field by Taveras. This one's well back there and gone. 2-run home run. Leody Taveras gets the Rangers back into this one. 6-2 is the score. Fireworks go off. What a season Leody is having this season. Again, if you have not paid attention to the Rangers, it's the bottom of this lineup that's really spurred on the production that they're having at the top of the order from an RBI consideration standpoint. Duran, Jankowski, and Taveras are the biggest cogs at the bottom of this lineup. And once again, you see it. Base hit by Jankowski, home run here by Leody Taveras. It's now a 4-run ball game, and again, a shutdown inning by Glenn Otto in the top half of the 3rd inning. Really, it kind of settled things down from an offensive perspective for the Astros. Now maybe if they, with the 2 runs here in the 3rd, even if they don't score again here in the 3rd, this at least will breathe some life into that Rangers bench. Nice piece of hitting there by Leody. First pitch swinging here by Smith, pops out to right field. Not what he's best at. He's more of a line drive hitter. Once he gets underneath it, he really doesn't have the type of power necessary to be able to consistently hit the ball deep enough to get out of the ballpark. That one finishes beneath the zone. Able to hold off is Semien. Semien in his last 9 games hitting .421, 3 extra base hits, and 5 walks. However, he's still not necessarily looking as hot as he was earlier in the season in this hot stretch where he had that 25-game hitting streak. We'll see if he's able to continue with that a little bit. But nice work again by the bottom of this Ranger lineup, giving them a boost. Hard hit. What was that? Did it hit the umpire? It looked like he hit the umpire, or hit something. He broke his bat? Okay. They're going to say foul ball either way, but just an interesting camera angle. You couldn't really see it off the bat as far as how hard it was hit. But it looked like it was going to be a nice line drive. But went foul. We'll answer your question here in just a moment, Jesus. This one's rolled over by Semien. And throw is offline by Dubon. Abreu made a tag, but the first base umpire says he was safe. So it's going to go in as an error on the shortstop. Allows the inning to keep going now with a runner on base in front of Corey Seager. And how many times have Rangers fans seen this over the past couple of weeks? Semien gets a base hit or a double. Nope, didn't execute the tag. So Semien is indeed safe at first base. And then Seager comes up behind him and gets a double and allow Semien to score from first base. We'll see if that happens once again. Right down the middle and easily stealing second base is Marcus Semien. Wow. Rangers are picking up on something from Christian Javier this inning. They're getting great jumps. That throw was not even close. I mean, the throw could have been a little bit more on line, I suppose, but Semien had that one all the way. His 9th stolen base of the year. Hard hit ball, deep right field. Will it be fair? No. Foul by about 15 rows. Whew. Nice contact there by Corey Seager. But 0-2 is the count now. The set by Javier. And the pitch. And Seager chases. That's one thing with Seager. Once you get ahead of him, if you can throw a little off speed just off the corner, just below the zone, you can get him to chase. So Seager, as good and productive as he is not infallible. And he strikes out for the second out of the inning. Nathaniel Lowe digs in, looking to get a base hit here to at least cut the lead in half from what it was to begin the inning. But to answer your question, do I think they end the drought? Yes, I think they're going to hold on to one of the final 2 playoff spots. Do I think they're going to make moves at the deadline? I think they're going to make moves. The question is, are they going to make the moves I think they should make, that they should make as far as an organizational standpoint, that they should make to try to compete, or that they should make if they start to fall behind in the standings? First question, should they make the moves that they should make as far as an organizational standpoint? If you don't think that Shohei Ohtani is going to be back next season, just me, if I'm running an organization as valuable as a piece as he is, as important as he is, to try to compete and try to win, I think you can get 6 premium assets back for Shohei Ohtani right now, even with just half a season left, because he's both a superstar frontline starting pitcher for you, and he's a middle-of-the-order power bat in your lineup. And I think you could probably get 4 top-quality prospects just for the pitcher, Shohei Ohtani. You could get some high-quality major leaguers back in that trade as well. I'm not saying this is the path the Angels should go or anything like that. I think they should have done this in the offseason. That's where I think the mismanagement comes in from the Angels' perspective. I think they should have moved Shohei Ohtani if they didn't already have a contract lined up with him going into this offseason. I think they absolutely cannot lose him for nothing this offseason. I think that's where that move should have happened. Now, considering where they are right now as Lowe stays alive and fouls this one down in the dirt, 2-2, I think you probably are going to have to end up holding on to Shohei Ohtani. I think it's too big of a trade to execute right now. I think that would change your fortunes a little too much, and it basically tells your team the wrong types of messages. So if I'm the Angels, I'd probably look to try to add around the periphery of this team. This one's off the nub of the bat, and Lowe is out at first base. But the Rangers do get back into the game 6-2 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. We'll see if Glenn Otto can throw up another 0 here for the Rangers. But as far as what types of moves should they make, I think they need to add probably one more starter, and I think they need to add one more bullpen piece. I think if they're able to get those 2 things, I think they could pretty much lock up a wild card spot and finally end their playoff drought. A great player like Shohei Ohtani, never in the postseason. A great player like Mike Trout, only been in the postseason once, and I think this is the year that will finally end. Now, the last option, of course, is to try to sell if they fall out of contention. Say they go on a 20-game losing streak between now and the trade deadline. Then you're looking at a team that's 10 games out of a wild card, and that's a very difficult position to be in with 2 months left in the season. You're not going to have a likely chance of getting all that ground back before the before the end of the season and make it to the postseason. If they go on a horrific run, something where they lose 20 in a row, something like that. Not saying it happened, but that's when you could start to see some Shohei Ohtani discussions. That's when you could start to see some back into the bullpen options being discussed. And those would kind of be the 3 avenues I think the Angels need to think about. One, I think they should have done before the season began, but now that we're in the season, I think they're going to have to try to add some tiny pieces to try to compete and stay in playoff contention and at least make one of those final 2 wild card spots. But appreciate you guys joining us. Got 15 of y'all with us right now. Make sure you say hi, drop us a like, hit that subscribe button. Put out a couple videos about the Rangers addition of Aroldis Chapman, what else they're going to have to do here at the trade deadline. Looking at the Astros side of things, they have had so many issues as far as staying healthy. It's tough to decipher what they need to do here at the deadline. They've made their bed and now they've got to sleep in it. Do they think they're going to try to spend more money now that they tried to save it in the offseason by not bringing back guys like Justin Verlander? Do you think they're going to go out there and spend the money now on players that they absolutely need? I don't think they're going to go for the big money route. I think they're going to try to piecemeal it together, try to bring somebody in on an expiring deal, something like that is probably what they're going to end up doing, going after a rental type player. But this Astros team could use a starting pitcher. You could look at guys like Eduardo Rodriguez for a little bit more of a long-term option, I suppose. But there are some options out there in that starter market. Maybe they're another team for a guy like Jack Flaherty. Who do you think the Angels draft this year in the MLB draft? We'll get to that in just a moment. First pitch here by Otto misses the zone. The 1-0 right at the top of the zone there gets the called strike. Maldonado is up, worked a walk in his first at-bat against Martin Perez. This one just above the zone, fouled back by Maldonado, and he falls behind 1-2. The 1-2 pitch by Otto popped up in the infield. Simeon is under it and makes the catch for the first out here in the top of the 4th. The MLB draft is right around the corner as well. I really like the way they did it last year on the All-Star weekend anyway. They did it the Sunday of, I believe. All-Star game I think they did on Tuesday last year. And they just the lead up to the game anyway, they kind of started things off with the draft on the Sunday, the home run derby on the Monday, and then the All-Star on the Tuesday. I think something like that, making it all an event, is something baseball really tried to capitalize on and make a little bit better. They tried the Studio 42 thing. Now they're doing it on location type things. And those types of things I think are boding really well for the future of the draft in Major League Baseball, making it more of a televised event, more of a must-see type of thing. This year's draft has a couple of high-end talents at the very top of the board, or 3 of them from the same school, LSU. Dylan Cruz, Skeens, and then I think Wyatt Langford is the 3rd player from the LSU team. But those guys are expected to go somewhere in the top 4 of the draft. There's another guy in the high school that has a chance of being in that top 4 or 5 in Jenkins. He's been one of the most connected with the Texas Rangers, kind of a 5-tool outfielder, a little bit more raw power, higher ceiling, but a lower floor. There's another guy, Clark, high school product, who has a higher floor, but a lower ceiling, as Altuve takes the walk there, his 2nd of the game. Otto struggling with his command in that at-bat. Otto trying to find the zone once again. First pitch here to Dubon. Right on the outside corner. 0-1. Again, our score right now 6-2. All of the runs coming in that 2nd inning. All of them off of the home run. Off of starting pitcher Martin Perez. Gave it back-to-back home runs to lead off the 2nd inning to Chas McCormick and Yenier Diaz. Nice fastball there on the inner half of the plate. Just blew it by Dubon. 0-2 now. And then, of course, the grand slam by Kyle Tucker to really bust things open for the Astros. Rangers added a couple of runs to at least make it a game in the bottom of the 3rd. Looking for another shutdown inning. Nice block there by Heim as that one bounced in the dirt in the other batter's box. Altuve stays at first. Pretty clean game so far today. Only one error in the game. That came by Dubon in the last half inning. This one off the end of the bat, back to the screen, 1-2. Otto up to 28 pitches. I'd imagine he probably caps out today, probably around 50, maybe 60 pitches, depending on how far they've lengthened him out in the minor leagues coming into this. He pitched 3 different times through 10 innings, so you're probably looking around that 60 pitch mark is probably the absolute max. This one bounces in the dirt, and he did go around, according to first base umpire, and it will be another strikeout by Glenn Otto. His second of the game. Kyle Tucker, who's 2 for 2, with a couple of extra base hits and 4 RBIs, including a grand slam, obviously. Nice work there. Camera crew getting that swing by Dubon. Nice work there by Heim, keeping the ball in front of him, not allowing Altuve to advance on it either. Another one in the dirt. Otto is certainly starting to lose a little bit of his command this half inning, though. Still proving to be effective, at least so far. Heim getting a workout back there this half inning, blocking those balls in the dirt. The 1-0. Right down Broadway, and he got lucky with that one. Looks like they were trying to go low and away, missed his location, middle, and Tucker just was not able to straighten that one out. 1-1 is the count here. Looks like he's struggling with that one pitch, that off-speed pitch that it keeps burying it into the dirt a little too early. Fastball placements seem to be pretty good so far. Right off the outside corner. Unable to get Tucker to chase. I think that's what they were trying to do, though, so curious to see what the Rangers' strategy is here as Heim looks in the dugout for some direction as to how they want to attack Kyle Tucker. Heim sends out the electronic message, electronic sign, if you will, the PitchCom communications. This one's lined into right and gets down in front of Garcia. Right. And it'll be up to Alex Bregman to keep this inning going for the Astros. Now 2 on, 2 out. Tucker is now 3 for 3 in the game. Average up to 292 on the season. Told you guys before he got his first hit, this is a guy you're probably going to want to look at as an MVP for the second half of the season. I think Shohei Ohtani's pretty much going to run away with it for the entire season, but I think the better hitter will be Kyle Tucker in the second half. That one misses about a foot outside. 1-0. Bregman 0 for 2 so far today. Astros are 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position today. The 1-0. Off the outside corner. This one's going to get down in front of Garcia. They're going to test him. Here comes the throw from Garcia. It's not going to be in time. And advancing on the throw is Bregman. It's now 7-2 as Otto missed his location a little bit there, it looks like. But just nice contact, easy swing there by Bregman. You knew eventually he was going to make contact here. All the pitches he's been seeing here today. Hitting 247 now on the year. In the fourth inning, Astros now lead it 7-2. Jose Abreu with a chance to get a base hit here and add a couple more runs. The 0-1 absolutely clobbered. And just when you thought the Rangers were starting to get back in it, an upper deck home run from Jose Abreu. Just absolutely obliterated that ball. And it's now a crooked number once again for the Astros. Looks like their offense is starting to wake up a little bit here over the last couple weeks. It's now a 10-2 ball game. And it looks like we're going to probably leave Glenn Otto in here to at least finish the fourth inning. But yikes, that ball was hammered. Another ball, middle. And just when you think, hey, maybe Glenn Otto's finding a groove, getting you through the end of the second inning, gets you a scoreless 1-2-3 third. Here in the fourth, 4 runs already on the board. 9 of the runs scored today have all been on the home run. That's Abreu's 250th of his career. And the man who got it all started here for the Astros is in the box. Quickly ahead 2-0 here. Chas McCormick had that leadoff home run in the second to get this thing started for the Astros. And this thing is quickly a runaway freight train for the Astros here today. This one's popped up off the end of the bat behind first base. Nathaniel Lowe going out. Garcia coming on and makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. It'll be Garcia, Young, and Heim due up for the Rangers in the bottom of the fourth. We'll see if they can tack on a couple more runs and make it interesting once again, I suppose. But so far, 10-2 Astros. Ouch. But we mentioned a lot of the standings earlier today as far as what could happen with the trade deadline coming up here within the month. And just looking at some of the teams there at the bottom of the standings, you can see the issues for the Rangers are fairly apparent. Their bullpen needs some work. They don't really have anybody as far as a long reliever that they count on since they moved Dane Dunning to the rotation. Glenn Otto literally just made his season debut last night. They were hoping to get some length out of him here today, so I imagine he may actually come out for the 5th inning. He gave up a 4 spot here in the 4th inning, so not exactly a good look so far. But again, it's early in his season. Maybe he could still be the answer. But you're looking at teams that are below 500 right now that could spare some bullpen pieces, some long relievers, some number 4, 5 type starters that maybe could transition to a bullpen role. Maybe a starter, a front-end starter that could headline this rotation for the Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi is the starting, the one representative for the Rangers out of that rotation. Dane Dunning's been fantastic for them. But I think if you're looking at the Rangers rotation right now, you're looking at Eovaldi as your number 1 with no Jacob deGrom. You're looking at Dane Dunning, John Gray probably as your 2-3, depending on which day it is. Then you're looking at Perez and Heaney as your 4-5. Perez had the poor start today. He's really not pitched well so far this year. Nowhere near the level that he pitched at last year. But we'll see, what ultimately happens here as we approach the trade deadline, how he's pitching, if they decide to move him down in the rotation, if they keep Heaney in the rotation, or if they transition him to a bullpen role, maybe a long relief role where that stuff will play up, and then that will solve their long relief bullpen issue. Or maybe if they bring in somebody from the starting pitching standpoint, maybe they move Dane Dunning back there just because of how good he was back there. But Rangers are certainly in playoff contention right now. They lead the AL West, even though the score right now 10-2 looks like this game is going to go the Astros' way. 0-1 now to Garcia, fouled off, and it's now 0-2. But teams that could lose some bullpen, or that could stand to lose some bullpen pieces, you're looking at, say, a team like the St. Louis Cardinals. You got Helsley back in the bullpen that could be a piece out there. You look at the Chicago White Sox. You look at Joe Kelly, Liam Hendricks. A lot of people around the league were expecting Liam Hendricks to possibly be moved as far as a cost savings move for the White Sox brass. But of course, he came down with an illness and wasn't able to be moved at that time. Since has been cleared, is back and is back in the majors. I think he has since suffered an injury since coming back though, and we'll see what ultimately happens with him as Garcia strikes out. Javier up to 50 pitches so far. They might be able to get him through 6 innings, maybe more, depending on how aggressive these Rangers hitters are. Josh Young digs in. Struck out in his first at-bat. Takes a strike right at the knees. You look at the rest of this lineup, as you can see on the screen over here. There we go, over here. The Rangers have the bottom half of their order really is the part where they've been having a lot of success, but they've had to kind of piecemeal it together at that DH spot. Today you see Josh Smith in there. You've regularly seen Robbie Grossman in there. You've seen Mitch Garver since he's returned from health. You've seen Jonah Heim whenever he gets a day off behind the plate. They put him in there at DH. They don't really have anybody in there like a David Ortiz or an Edgar Martinez type to be that DH type every single day. I don't think they necessarily want somebody to be a DH only type player in there. I think they want to have somebody who has some versatility. You look at a guy like Ezekiel Duran, who came into the season as one of those options to be the DH type player. He has since solidified himself as an everyday option out there in left field. You look at Travis Jankowski. He's more of a fourth outfielder, but he's hitting .316 for you so far this year. So maybe the answer is just giving him more at bats unless you bring in somebody else with a little more pop in that bat. But that could be something that the Rangers look into as well, is just giving more playing time to Travis Jankowski. The 1-2 pitch here to Young. Nice base hit, left center field. Julks quickly gets it back in, and it'll be a base hit, 1-out single here for Josh Young. Jonah Heim digging in. Jankowski and Tavares would follow. This one finds its way into the dirt. Ball 1. Nice work by Maldonado to block that one. Rangers looking to at least get a couple more runs back on the board here in the bottom of the 4th. Still a lot of baseball left to play, but certainly looks very lopsided in the Astros' favor. This Rangers team was pretty much all-world offensively earlier this year for the first couple months, and then just really haven't been able to hit their way out of a wet paper bag over the last 3-4 weeks. They've had the contact, they've had the base hits, but with runners in scoring position, their calling card for the first couple months, they just haven't been able to produce and drive in runs. And that's kind of been the difference for the Rangers as far as the success that they had in the first couple months versus now. We expected that number to kind of drop back down to earth, and that's kind of what we're seeing. We'll see what ultimately happens for them going forward. Heim does have a little bit of a long swing. Switch hitting catcher. Bats from the left side against the righty. Taps this one foul back to the screen. And we'll do it again. Appreciate you guys joining us here today. Make sure you drop us a like. Really does help us out. Hit that subscribe button. As I mentioned, we're about to roll out our trading card business on eBay. We'll get that going here and send y'all the link once that does get going. And we will have some giveaways as well once we get that going. Hard hit ball through the right side and into right field. Jonah Heim gets a base hit. Now 2 on, 1 out. Something cooking here for the Rangers in the bottom of the 4th. Travis Jankowski due up next. And do not be surprised if he actually tries for a bunt hit here. But he's a good contact hitter, so maybe they'll send the runners. Neither one of Heim or Young is necessarily the fastest base runner in the world, but maybe with a high contact guy like Jankowski up there, maybe they can get kind of a hit and run going. Takes inside for ball 1. Leody Taveras, who last time up hit that 2-run home run, waits on deck. Maybe the Rangers are trying to put their own 4 spot on the board here. That one misses, and it's quickly 2-0 here to Travis Jankowski. Some notes on that trade anyway from the... Oh! High hit, deep right field. Jankowski hits the home run. 10-5. Rangers are once again back in the ball game. His first home run of the season. We told you he was more of a contact hitter. Didn't have a whole lot of power. My bad. Apparently he's got a little bit of pop in that bat. And a career year for Jankowski continues. The bottom of the order once again coming through for the Texas Rangers. Both home runs today from the 7 and 8 hitters. And now you got Leody Taveras due up, followed by Josh Smith, and then the top of the order cycles back around. This game may not indeed be over. Nice work there by Travis Jankowski. Taveras takes strike one on the inner half of the plate. But a note on that Chris Flexen trade, he is going to be designated for assignment after the trade to the Mets. Seems like he is going to be just being paid by the Mets for the Mariners to get off of his money. Trevor Gott is the one piece the Mets are adding to their bullpen. I doubt he will be claimed from anybody. Nice base hit by Taveras off the end of the bat, serves it into right. And Josh Smith due up next. Rangers have put up 5 in 3 1/3 innings against Christian Javier. Mound visit here by the pitching coach. Looks like he's speaking rather emphatically to his young pitcher out there, telling him to throw strikes. Stop dancing. I don't think that's really been the issue, though. You can tell the message here is just to throw strikes with a 10-2 lead. But come on now. It's now a 10-5 lead. He hasn't exactly been throwing balls. Maybe he's telling him to throw a little bit more with conviction, I guess. These are major league hitters, all that kind of thing. But come on, man. This is a good Rangers lineup. And the bottom half of this lineup is certainly where the productions come from. And we're seeing it once again here today. Pickoff attempt here. Taveras is back in there easily. Smith, the DH today. Kind of a utility player. Can play a little bit of short, second, third, first. Left field, right field. Shoot, I bet he would catch if you asked him to. Takes a strike here on the outside corner. High on base guy. He's been hit by like 7 or 8 pitches so far this season. For as little as this guy plays, he's certainly among the leaders in that category. But he's a guy that gets on base, which is very valuable for the very bottom of this Texas Ranger lineup here today. Giving Ezekiel Duran a day off amid his struggles to let his head kind of get back on right after his 8 strikeouts in his last 12 at-bats. 1-2 count here on Smith. Excuse me, swing little roller out to shortstop, and he is retired at first base. A little surprised they didn't try to flip it over to second. Taveras looked like he would have been out there at second, but he advances to second on the play. Runner in scoring position once again here for the Rangers. Marcus Semien due up. Reached on the error by Dubon last time up. Had a stolen base easily off of Javier. Ball one just off the outside corner. Taveras with a ton of speed. Doesn't need to steal third here to be in scoring range on a base hit to the outfield. Pretty much any base hit out there, you'd think they'd send Taveras. See if they can cut this once again to a 4-run deficit. 10-5 here our score in the bottom of the 4th. Offense heavy game here so far today. The 1-0 right down Broadway, fouled right back off the catcher. 1-1 is the count. On this homestand, Semien hitting .393, 2 doubles, home run, 2 RBIs, and 5 runs scored. Looks like they're pitching him on the outer half of the plate here. Off speed, kind of tailing away from him. Swung on and missed by Semien. 1-2 is the count. Javier One of the few pitchers that actually gets tougher as you go deeper into the lineup against him. 244 average the first time, 233 the second time, 231 the third time. Astros would really like him to go deep in the game, even though they do have somebody out there actually getting a little loose. That's Phil Maton. The 2-2 pitch here by Javier. Swung on and missed. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. And the Rangers score 3 here in the bottom of the 4th to at least make it a 5-run game. 10-5 our score as we go to the top of the 5th. Astros in front by 5. A lot of home runs and a lot of power in this game so far today. McCormick got the scoring started for us in the top of the 2nd. Leadoff home run followed by a home run from Diaz. Grand slam by Tucker. Rangers added a couple in the bottom of the 3rd on the 2-run home run by Tavares. Altuve scored on the 1-run scored on a non-home run off of the base hit from Bregman into right field. And then we got the 3-run home run from Abreu. And then the 4th inning, we got the 3-run home run from Travis Jankowski, his first of the season for the Rangers to make it 10-5. Appreciate you guys joining us here today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Really does help us out. Check out the coverage of the Rangers trade for Aroldis Chapman that we posted today and what might be next for the Texas Rangers. Do they add another piece to their bullpen? Do they wait a little bit? Do they add another piece to their DH spot? Do they add a starting pitcher? There's a lot of ways the Rangers could attack this deadline season. Meanwhile, the Houston Astros, I think, are more in wait and see as far as who can get healthy for them. They've really had kind of a mash unit out there as far as their starting lineup really being injured. Their starting rotation has had some injury issues as well. They've lost a couple of them for the entire year. And so I think the Astros would be very much inclined to add a low-cost number 3, 4, 5 type starter to that rotation. Somebody, you think a few years back to the to the likes of a guy like Wade Miley, Jake Odorizzi, pieces like that is what I expect the Houston Astros to ultimately try to add here at the deadline. So we'll see what comes next for them. Looks like Glenn Otto will be out there for his 3rd inning, well, 3rd plus inning of work, if you will. Pitched 2 2/3 so far today. After coming in after the struggles of Martin Perez, it'll be Diaz, Julks, and Maldonado, 7, 8, and 9 for the Astros. Strike 1 here to Diaz. Message, I think, in the dugout from Mike Maddox and Bruce Bochy, probably just throw strikes. That knuckle curve, he's just missing his location with. 1-1's the count. Misses very high with that one. 2-1. Not what you want to see if you're a Ranger manager right now. You want to see Otto throw strikes and get through this 5th inning. Told you guys, best case scenario for them would be to allow Otto to get you through the 5th inning, only allowing, 1 or 2 runs. He's allowed 4. It is a very offense-heavy game, so maybe something like a clean inning here would get the Rangers enough to allow them to turn it over to somebody else in the bullpen. Rolled over here by Diaz. Young, again, just absolutely wizardry at third base. Just how quickly he vacuums up that ball, and every time it's a strong, crisp throw to first base, right on target. Just, I think it's safe to say he's the best defensive third baseman in the entire American League. I would say he's right up there with guys like Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, who doesn't get enough love for his glove work there on the defensive side. Now that he's moved over to third base after playing all those years at short. Something to keep an eye out for. Maybe a gold glove in the future for a guy like Josh Young. Matt Chapman, of course, has been one of the preeminent defenders at third base in the American League the last several years. Little grounder back through the middle, gets through to the outfield, and Julks is on for the 2nd time today. Maldonado due up next. 0 for 1 with a walk. Again, I imagine we're going to see Otto's max pitch count probably be around 60 pitches. Brain trust of the Rangers looking on intently, not wanting to let this game get too far out of hand, because their offense does seem to be becoming alive today. They want to keep this game within as much reach as they can right now. At the same time, you don't want to completely burn every single member of your bullpen before you even get to the ninth. If Otto can get you through the fifth here, Rangers, I think, have got to be happy with that. But you can tell they're watching him closely just in case they have to make a move a little earlier. Probably looking at some of the other guys out there that could give you an extra inning or two. Hey! Looks like they kind of knew he was stealing. Heim just kind of overgripped that one and just yanked that ball. I think Julks probably would have been safe anyway, but Heim just kind of yanked that throw a little bit, took Simeon completely off the bag. In either event now, swinging and a miss, strike two here on Maldonado. Julks has 13 stolen bases this year. Wow, got 17 of you guys with us right now. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Looks like they are indeed going to get that bullpen loosening just a little bit. Lefty out there getting loose. Fouled off once again. Remains 1-2. Looking at some of the options that the Rangers have down there. Long relief guys, you're looking at probably Bradford, who might be able to give you an inning or two. He struggled in his most recent appearance at the Major League level. Probably looking at Brock Burke as well, but if I had to guess, they're probably going to go with Bradford next. See if he can give him 2 innings. Oh, hard hit ball by Maldonado, deep center. And looks like this one will stay in the yard right in front of the warning track. Tavares able to bring it in. Julks advances to third on the play. 2 away with Altuve coming up. 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. He is kind of the engine that makes this team run, and they certainly missed him the first couple months of the season. I told you guys to begin the year with Altuve being out, they'd probably be in third, fourth place coming into the month of June when they finally would get him back. But I did expect them to ultimately win the division by a fraction. Looks like we will get a mound visit here. See how they want to go about attacking Altuve here. This could be about giving him more time out there in that bullpen. And Bochy getting up on that top step. And it looks like Bochy is coming out. They are going to bring in the new reliever. It is Bradford coming in from the bullpen. Good effort here by Otto. His second outing of the year, able to give them, 3 1/3? 3 1/3. 4 earned runs. That's the hard part of the game, though. The 3-run home run by Abreu, really kind of the one crooked number that he really messed up on. Kind of threw that one right over the middle, and that was the only real bad pitch he threw. But overall, good appearance there for Otto, able to give him some length out of that bullpen today. Bradford hopefully can give him a couple more innings here. But 10-5 is our score here in the top of the fifth. Altuve coming up with Julks on third base. Appreciate you guys joining us. Got 18 of you guys with us. Thank you guys for joining. Really helps us out. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe if you haven't already. Posted a couple videos about the Rangers' recent acquisition of Aroldis Chapman, and they still have some more work to do out there in that bullpen. They've got a couple of guys out there right now, Glenn Otto and Bradford and Burke, all that could be considered long relief options. But we'll see if any one of those gets it, or if they decide to add a starting pitcher and move Andrew Heaney into one of those long relief options. The one guy that they were hoping to have back there this season, Jake Odorizzi, that they got the Atlanta Braves to eat $10 million of his contract for. They're only paying him $1 million. He's not available this season. He is out for the year due to injury. Now we'll see, what options they ultimately have coming up to the trade deadline, but I think they will add at least one, probably two more bullpen pieces, whether that be by adding one starter and then moving Heaney to the bullpen, adding two starters, moving Dunning back into the bullpen, or adding, one more setup reliever. There's a lot of options the Rangers have as we get closer to the deadline. The White Sox, I think, have been most commonly linked with other teams out there as far as bullpen additions. You look at the Red Sox, even though they're above 500, they may still make a run for a wild card spot. But if they decide to sell, they have a number of different bullpen options that they have that they could move at the deadline. Kenley Jansen, etc., among the pieces that could be moved at the deadline. First pitch here from Bradford to Altuve, as looks like Altuve just steps right back out. Looks like we weren't quite ready, I guess. First pitch here, misses outside, ball one. Bradford in the minors has been fantastic so far in the majors. He's had some up and down success so far. First start of the year did not go great. Second one against the Orioles went a little bit better. Start against the Tigers, even better. The last one he made, though, not exactly his brightest moment either. But the walks are probably the biggest thing right now for him. 7 walks in 19 and a third innings. If he's able to tone those walks down a little bit, then he could be one of the more realistic options for long relief for the Rangers as we get close to the deadline. This one finds the corner. The 1-1 pitch off the outside corner. Now 2-1. Looks like they're trying to stay away from Altuve here. The 2-1. Looks like they're trying to go up and in. Misses low. 3-1's the count. Looks like he's missing with a little bit on his location here. Another one low and away. This one finds the zone. 3-2 is the count now. Or, excuse me. Up and away, excuse me. Bradford looking for the strikeout. He is a little bit of a strikeout artist. 20 strikeouts in 19 and a third. Make it 21 strikeouts for the season for Bradford as he gets Altuve to chase that one. Scoreless fifth inning here. It'll be Seager, Lowe, and Garcia for the Rangers. Heart of the order. See if they can continue their offense that they've gained the last couple of innings. Got 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Do we see 4 here in the fifth? We shall see. Do we see a pitching change with Javier? Remains to be seen as well. After all, he has given up the 2 home runs that have scored the 5 runs for the Rangers today. But this bullpen certainly has had its fair share of struggles over the past few weeks. They had to throw several innings yesterday of scoreless ball. Or do they have another long stint in them today, is the question. If you guys are unfamiliar, there's a site out there that you guys can use to kind of see what trades might actually end up costing your team, etc. Something that gives you an idea of what pieces might be out there. Some other trade ideas. You've seen places like fanspo.com for like basketball trades, etc. For baseball, there's really only one site I would consider as far as being kind of a representative value of what's out there. baseballtradevalues.com. It's not for fantasy baseball or anything like that. This is about real world baseball. Looking at here at some of the trade ideas, they have the one of the more common ones out there right now, I guess you could say, is that fans would like to see the Rangers add some bullpen help. So maybe a guy like Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals could make some sense, sending out a couple of prospects going the other way. That's one of the more popular ideas out there. Would I do that type of a trade? For the Nationals, yes. For the Rangers, I don't think that's enough back for the pieces you're giving up. Looks like we're back here in the bottom of the 5th. Corey Seager digging in. Christian Javier is still out there on the mound. Leads Major League Baseball in pretty much every single offensive category since he came back. First pitch here. Hard hit down the line. This will roll all the way to the wall. Will be a stand-up double, you'd think, for Corey Seager. Remember, he pulled that hamstring pretty good, and so he does not test his speed usually when he gets something like that to try to press it into a triple. I imagine before the injury, he might have tried to do some of those that have a little bit more of a chance of going for a triple, but this time, just take your easy 2 bases, don't try to overdo it, and then miss another month due to hamstring. Soft tissue injuries are very easily re-aggravated, so you tell him, or the Rangers have been telling him to take it, 70, 80% around the base paths in situations like that. Don't try to ramp it up to full gear unless you absolutely have to. This one misses just north of the zone. Maldonado wanted that one. 1-0. Leadoff double here for the Rangers. Trying to get something going here in the bottom of the 5th, trailing by 5. This one misses low and in the dirt. 2-0. And quickly the bullpen gets going once again for the Astros. This one misses well outside. Complete loss of command here for Javier. 3-0 here to Nathaniel Lowe. Worst thing in the world is not to set up a double play, I suppose. So giving up a walk here wouldn't be the worst thing ever for Javier. Adolis Garcia waits on deck. Almost had a home run earlier in the game. Nice play by Tucker out there in front of the wall, making a little bit of a bunny hop catch, if you will. Couple of pitches belt high to get some strike calls here for Javier. 3-2 is the count now. Looks like Maton is the one once again loosening. The 3-2 pitch. This one's lined dead center field, but right to McCormick. He will make the easy catch. Seager will stay, however, at second base. Not deep enough for him to really try to get into to third base with less than 2 outs. Garcia due up next. If you guys are joining us for the first time, make sure you say hello, drop us a line, ask us a question, anything you want to know about the trade deadline as we get closer and closer to it. All-Star break right around the corner as well. This one right on the inside corner, just catches the inside corner. 0-1 here to Garcia. The 0-1. Oh, you can tell Garcia wanted that one back. That was middle, right at the knees. Whew. You don't see Garcia miss them too often. 0-2 is the count, though. Javier looking for the strikeout. See if he can get through 5 today. That one misses about 5-6 inches above the zone. 1-2. Time here by Garcia as Javier was about to throw the pitch. Ten runs on 10 hits, 1 error for the Astros. 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Rangers. The set by Javier and the pitch. North of the zone by about 1.5 feet. 2-2's the count. Making Javier work a little bit here once again. Garcia being very patient at the plate. This one's grounded up through the middle. Will Seager be sent home? I think he will. He is, and there will not be a throw, so he can jog in without testing that hamstring. 10-6. It's now a 4-run game. Garcia comes through with the base hit, and once again, Rangers score and tack on another run, making it a little bit closer. 6 runs now on 8 hits, and we are getting towards the bottom of the lineup where the Rangers really have made their hay today. With the 3-run home run by Jankowski, the 2-run home run from Taveras. Wondering if we'll see a pitching change. Looks like Dusty Baker is indeed coming out of the dugout. I don't think he's made a signal yet to the bullpen. I imagine it's just to buy some time for Maton to finish warming up. He was already hot. Wow, he leaves Javier in there. Interesting move. I guess he wanted to look in the eyes of his starting pitcher just to see what he had. We'll see how this decision goes. Analytics might tell you to pull him out here. But again, the old school manager doing some old school things. Josh Young digging in. 10-6 here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch, a little bit low here to Josh Young. Maldonado tried to frame it, but unable to get the call. That bottom of the strike zone has been open from time to time. This one, another one misses beneath the zone, 2-0. I imagine if Josh Young reaches, we will see a pitching change. I don't care whatever Dusty Baker saw in his eyes. I think this is the last hitter here. Hard hit through the left side, base hit. They will keep him at second base, though. Just a bouncer of a throw, though, by Julks to get it back in the infield. But that's got to be it here. And it is. Dusty Baker is coming back on. And that will be it for Javier. A little curious about the decision there not to pull Javier with Maton ready to go in the bullpen. But now 2 runners on, 1 out. Jonah Heim due up, followed by the 2 home run hitters in the game for the Rangers in Jankowski and Taveras. Looks like the MLB site's a little frozen. See if we can refresh their page. There we go. Looking at the Rangers scorecard as far as their pitchers, it's not a pretty sight for either of the first 2 pitchers of the game. Martin Perez, an inning and a third, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 home runs. All of their runs scoring on the home run. Solo shot by McCormick and Diaz, followed by the grand slam from Tucker. Otto, of course, pitched fairly well, aside from the 3-run shot from Abreu. 4 runs, 1 walk. Couple of strikeouts and a home run given up, as we mentioned, in his second outing of the year. Again, as I mentioned, though, still pretty good pretty good bullpen session from him. If I'm the Rangers, I'm encouraged by what I saw. Just 1 pitch really missed location, and that was the pitch to Abreu. And then Bradford came in, got the strikeout to end the inning in the top of the 5th. Expect him to probably be out there again for the 6th. And we'll see what the score is here after the 6th inning to see what they decide to do after that. But I think Bradford probably gets the 6th, and if the Rangers are still down by, say, 4 runs, they probably give him the 7th as well. If the Rangers cut it to 3, cut it to 2, cut it to 1, or even take the lead, then I think they go with different bullpen options. I think that's when they go to their A bullpen, with that being Spores, Smith, Chapman, those types of pitchers. that they could turn to. But right now, the Houston Astros are turning to Phil Maton. Maton so far this year, a 1.73 ERA, tells you just how good he's been for them. One thing we saw a little bit from him from his last appearance is he did struggle with command out of the bullpen for the first hitter last time. This one he does not, but just off the inside corner. Does not entice the swing or the call. 1-0 is the count. Looks a little crisper here coming out than he did last time. Maton's had to get up and down a couple of different times so far in the game so far, though. Tapped foul off of Maldonado, and it's 1-1. Jonah Heim looking for a ball he can drive. If you can get a base hit here, you're probably looking at another run scoring. Looks like they're throwing him inside quite a bit. The righty pitching to the lefty. Just off the inside corner and does not get the swing call from the third base umpire. Appreciate you guys joining us. We've got a very entertaining game. Battle for the silver boot. Astros jumped out to a 10-2 lead. Rangers have clawed their way back a little bit here. This one, another one misses just off the plate inside. 3-1 is the count. And don't want to load him up for the home run hitting Travis Jankowski on deck, who hit his first home run in his last at bat. The 3-1 here from Maton. That one does go a little bit inside, and that's a 5-pitch walk. And it'll be up to Travis Jankowski here. Nowhere to put him. Good contact hitter. You're going to see some type of action. I imagine we'll see the corners in for the Astros and the middle infielders at double play depth. Travis Jankowski is a very speedy runner, so it's very difficult to double him off. So we'll see what ends up happening. Maybe we'll even see a squeeze play here. Saw one the other night in the game with the Mets, I believe. This one misses outside, and Maton's missing his location a little bit. 1-0 is the count. Tying run at the plate. Hard hit but foul off the screen of the dugout for Jankowski. 2 for 2 so far today. Came in hitting .310, raised that average to .322. He's been very consistent for the Rangers today, or this year anyway. The 1-1, little tapper off the end of the bat on the inner half of the plate. 1-2. Like to see Jankowski make some type of contact here. See if he can drive home one of the runs at least. The 1-2 pitch. Lifted. Fair! It lands behind third base. It'll drive home two. Looks like they're going to send the runner to third. They just now fielded the ball as it rolled all the way along the sideline in front, behind third base. Just an absolute cue shot off the end of the bat. It's now 10-8. Runners now on first and third for the Texas Rangers. Just a very weird spot for that to land, and even weirder defensively for the Houston Astros because they didn't really chase it immediately. Julks kind of misplayed it, had it go off of his glove, allowing the runner to move from second to third. Dubon, realizing nobody's there to cover the base, and just says, I'll just put it in my back pocket and jog it back into the infield. But Leody Taveras is due up next. He's 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run today. Way out in front on that one, though, and it's 0-1. Got to think Jankowski might be looking to try to steal second base here to get out of the double play. It'll be another error charge to the Astros on that for the misplay by Julks, allowing the runner to advance to third. So 2 errors so far today for Houston. And we now have a brand new ball game. 10-8 is our score. And we're only in the 5th inning, folks. The 0-2 pitch, pickoff attempt. Jankowski back standing. Got to think they might try a pickoff attempt here, or a pitch out, if you will. The set and the pitch. Jankowski is not going. It's a little tapper. They're going to go to first with it. Jankowski was able to get a nice jump to second, and instead they do get a run across, and now another runner in scoring position. Very curious defensive play there by Dubon. I guess he took the shirt out. I don't think he would have guaranteed the out at second, but they got the out at first either way. I think it was slow enough to kind of a excuse me swing, if you will. Looking at the replay, he might have been able to get the lead runner there, but I guarantee they would not have had the double play. The backswing there gets Maldonado from Smith. Smith making sure he's okay. On the foul ball. Rangers are down by 1 after trailing earlier by 8 runs. This one misses low and in, but able to get the swing and miss by Smith. Smith 0 for 2 so far today. Jankowski out there at second base. A base hit will score him. This one bounces way outside. Maldonado somehow is able to pick it with an absolute stab to his left. That would have gotten Jankowski to third easily if it got past him. And depending on where that ball ended up, Jankowski with his speed, you never know. The 1-2 pitch here from Maton. Swing and a miss. Nice off-speed pitch there by Maton. And the inning is finally over for the Astros. Well, 10 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Astros. 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors through 5 innings in this one. Exactly how everyone had it, right? An offensive slugfest on the day before Independence Day. And should be a very interesting finale to this series. It'll be Dubon, Tucker, and Bregman for the Astros here in the top of the 6th. Bradford's going to come back out, but who had 19 runs being scored before the 6th inning? Whew. And now that we're back to a 1-run game, maybe they don't even keep Bradford in the game. Maybe they keep him available to be the long man out of the bullpen tomorrow. But since he's already in there, they might just keep him in there. We shall see. Just look at this lineup. Look down here at the bottom of this lineup. 8 RBIs from your 7 and 8 hitter in your lineup. Some production right there. Now, if the top of the lineup could just, string some things together, the Rangers might have something cooking. Tucker's going to be second in this inning. He's 3 for 3 with a double, a single, and a grand slam today. He has been nothing short of fantastic. Average game time this year is around 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think we're going to exceed that by a mile here today. We've played 5 innings, 4 to go, and we're already at the 2-hour mark. Strike one right at the knees there for Dubon. A nice outing here would be great for Bradford to build his confidence as he continues to try to get his feet wet here at the major league level. Nice tailing fastball, or I guess they'll call it a cutter, changeup. I don't know. It was an 81-mile-an-hour pitch, whatever it was, tailing away from the right-handed hitter. Got the swing and a miss. They're going to call it a changeup. Okay. That one a little too far outside, nowhere close to make it competitive. 1-2 is the count now. Bradford was one of the guys the Rangers left unprotected for the Rule 5 draft, along with Mason Englert. Englert was selected in that Rule 5 draft by the Detroit Tigers. He's pitched very well out of their bullpen, some spot starts for them as well. Bradford, very similarly viewed, but was more of a 3-4-5 type starter. Englert had a little bit higher of a ceiling, so he was selected instead of Bradford, and so the Rangers were able to hold on to him. Rangers added Bradford to the 40-man roster once DeGrom went on that 60-day IL, and used him as a spot starter. Line shot, but again, great defensive play by Josh Young. That ball was nailed right to him. That is the first out here of the inning. Kyle Tucker up next. They have been trying to bust him low and in with balls all day long. Again, they try to continue that strategy. 0-1 is the count now. Aye! And this one does finally hit Tucker. Off the elbow. He is not happy about it. Flips the bat to the Astros, or towards the Astros dugout. He is not happy with that one, as that ball just continued to run in, run in, run in, run in. That's like the third pitch we've seen almost scrape his elbow. He does kind of lean in with that elbow all the way out over the plate, and it's not like right underneath him. He has that thing kind of sticking out there. This time he wasn't able to tuck it back fast enough, and a hit by pitch makes him reach base for the fourth time here today. Bregman takes strike one on the outer half. 0-1. From a Rangers perspective, not exactly the worst thing in the world. Not letting Tucker hit it out of the park again. The set by Bradford. Pick off over there. Tucker only a couple of feet off. Making sure he doesn't get too far out there. Still shaking off that hit by pitch. Does not really wear a huge elbow guard or anything like that. The 0-1. A little bit above the zone. Able to check his swing. 1-1's the count. Looks like they're going a little bit different strategy here with Bregman. Instead of busting him inside like they did with Tucker, they're going away here with Bregman. That one finds the zone 1-2. His base hit came on a pitch on the outer half of the plate that caught too much of that corner, and he was able to serve it out there into right for the only run the Astros have scored, not via the home run. That one just a beautiful painted pitch right on the inner half of the plate, right on the edge of the corner, and able to get the call is Bradford. That's where Perez usually likes to pitch, but he wasn't able to execute today that pitch at all. We never saw him really hit those types of corners, and today that's really the second pitch we've really seen the Rangers really throw right on the edge and get the call. 2 away now. Another snap throw over to first. This time Tucker has to slide back in. Still only a couple of feet off. He does have some speed out there. Another strike right on the corner. Bradford dotting up those corners. Looking good. Pitched to a .91 ERA in like 10 or starts in the minor league level so far this year. Major league level has a 5 ERA so far. Another step off. That's the second disengagement of this at bat. And that one misses low, ball 1. 1-1. Hit that 3-run home run off of Otto back in the 4th inning. And Abreu fouls this one back. Now 1-2. Bradford 1 strike away from getting through another clean inning for the Rangers. Rangers have only been held off the scorecard in 2 innings. If the Astros don't score here, this will be the 4th inning where they have not scored. And there's the strikeout. Nice work there by Corey Bradford. Just a nice piece of work there. I want to look at his numbers for you guys real quick. Cody Bradford, not Corey, my bad. 25-year-old lefty. You can see his numbers there coming into the game. That was the start he had against Detroit. Not exactly great. Had a bullpen appearance as well. He's done a little bit of everything for the Rangers at the major league level in about 6 or so appearances. But the Rangers hoping to get back into this one. As horribly as it started, it certainly looks a lot different now. Now 10-9 ball game. Ryan Stanek coming into the game. Usually one of their better relievers over the last couple of years. Looking at his numbers for you guys. There we go. 4.39 ERA. Maton got touched up a little bit there. And so that's why they're going to go with Stanek instead of let Maton go out there for one more inning. Maton did pitch in yesterday's game as well. For the Rangers, it'll be the top of the lineup, though. Semien, Seager, and Lowe. Semien reached on the error from Dubon his 2nd time up. That's the only time he's reached base. Seager reached on that double that he had his last time up. So maybe the top of the lineup will start to get something going now that we're a little deeper into the ball game. Rangers have played well offensively, and their bullpen certainly has bailed them out after a poor start from Martin Perez here today. Got 20 of you guys with us right now. Thank you guys. Highest we've been so far today. Thank you guys for joining us. Hit that like and subscribe. Looks like we're coming back from commercial break here. Semien 0 for 3. Again, reached on that error by Dubon. Has a stolen base and has struck out so far today. This one misses just off the outside corner, low and away, 1-0. Swung on and missed. That one misses just off the outside corner, but able to get the chase is Stanek. 29 games. Has thrown 26 and 2/3 innings, 28 strikeouts to 16 walks. Tells you command from time to time can leave him. Seen him throw 3 outside of the zone, only able to entice 1 swing and a miss from Semien so far. This one's tapped foul, and it'll be even up 2-2 now. Let us know in the chat which team you think is going to ultimately win this game. Astros jumped out to that huge lead, 10-2. Rangers have since cut it down to 10-9. The 2-2 fouled back, and we'll do it once again. Rangers still have more work to do, even though they've clawed back 7 of those runs. The 2-2 just misses off the outside corner. Welcome in, Brennan. Appreciate it. That's exactly why we do this. I know that a lot of people don't get Bally Sports anymore because of all their issues they've had. This one's kind of knuckled off the fists anyway, and able to make a sliding catch there is Tucker. Nice play defensively. Looks like Simeon might be able to get that one to drop, just unable to get it to do so. I know a lot of Ranger fans are also excited to hopefully get Eric Nadell back at some point on the radio to listen to games while they're at work. But still undetermined as to when he will be back, if at all. Seager again, very aggressive, fouls off the first pitch here, 0-1. Seager 1 for 3 so far today. So if you can throw a ball, on the edges, those kinds of things, you should be okay. But if you miss location, Seager will certainly make you pay. Longest on base streaks, active ones in majors. Cincinnati's Matt McLain has the 23 game for the longest in Major League Baseball. Seager at 22 with the second longest. That one looked like it was a strike right at the bottom of the zone, but did not get the call. Saul, they have you stressed? Well, I'd imagine so after having an 8-run lead. Just a nasty pitch off the inside corner, able to entice the check swing from Seager. It's now 2-2 on the Rangers' all-star shortstop. He will be the starting shortstop for the American League this year. Kind of off the end of the bat, lifted high, left field. Julks is over there, has room, and makes the play. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Again, the Rangers' top of the lineup's really kind of let them down so far. It's been the bottom half of the lineup that's really had all of the success here today. Nathaniel Lowe is up next, 0 for 3 so far today. Takes ball 1. Lowe, one of the more patient hitters in this Rangers lineup. Kind of have to have a patient hitter after having Simeon and Seager, two very aggressive, swing first type of hitters at the top of their lineup. Garcia's added some of that patience to his game, something he did not have last year. Lifted back to the screen, foul, 1-1. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled back to the screen once again. Lowe staying alive. Those are pitches usually when Nathaniel Lowe is on, he can drive to the right center field gap. But right now he's just a touch off of those pitches. So just wondering if maybe we're seeing a little bit of a slump, the beginning of a slump, if you will, for Nathaniel Lowe. Tap this one over to first base. Abreu jogs to first and retires the Rangers in order. We go to the the top of the 7th, 10-9 our score. Be right back here at the top half of the inning here in just a moment with you guys, if you'll bear with us. And we're back for the top half of the seventh anyway. Little bunt attempt here by McCormick. And it looks like he was safe after it was not fielded by Nathaniel Lowe. However, they're going to rule he ran in the baseline, and that will keep the run, or that will retire him. Saying he ran out of the baseline is what they're saying. Just looking at the rule, he's running inside the line the whole way. It's the home plate umpire who makes the call here. I mean, it's not a bad running play, I guess, but I mean, the one thing I would like to see is the Major League Baseball kind of address this type of a play a little bit differently. I mean, he would have been safe. I mean, the Rangers had a chance to make the play. Nobody was interfered with. There was an angle to throw the ball. That's one type of situation I would like to see the rules be fixed to address that type of an issue. Bradford quickly ahead here of Diaz, 0-2. Misses high here, 1-2 now. Misses outside, 2-2. Bradford working very quickly, up to 27 pitches so far, through an inning and a third. Another game that started out a little lopsided there, the Cubs and Brewers, now tied at 6. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout here for Bradford. He's got a strikeout pitch, that's for sure. One thing the Rangers would like to have a little bit more out of their long reliever is a little bit of a swing and miss. So maybe Bradford could be that type of solution as the Rangers go the rest of the way. Now an inning and 2/3, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs for Bradford so far today. And he's only at 28 pitches, so you could probably get one more out here in the 7th, and if the score's still the same, you could have him come out for one more inning. And then I guess you'd use Brock Burke as the long man out of the bullpen the next evening, should something like that be required. The 0-1 pitch here to Jolks. Lifted to right field, going back on it at the track in front of the wall, making kind of a stabbing grab at it above his head, is Garcia. And that's the end of the top of the 7th. Welcome in, Mr. Bickford. Appreciate you for joining us. But the bottom of the Rangers lineup is coming up next. Excuse me, the middle of the Rangers lineup, 4, 5, 6 anyway in their lineup. That's where all the damage has been done here so far today. Basically from that 3 through 8 spot in the lineup, really. That's really where everything's happening for the Rangers, and so it's going to be a tough situation for whoever the Astros decide to go with here in the bottom of the 7th. Do they go with Stanek for one more inning? Or do they go another direction? Each time you bring out a new reliever, you take out one more option that they have to work with, and you hope somebody else has their best stuff today, especially when you started the game 10-2 going into the bottom of the 3rd, and then the Rangers have tacked on, 10-2 going into the bottom of the 4th anyway, and the Rangers have tacked on 7 runs to make it a brand new ball game, and they're knocking on the doorstep. He got you suspended, you know? Who got suspended? Not sure who you're referring to. Stanek? Was that who you're referring to? Astros dugout being very vocal with their displeasure with that call. Looks like it is Neris coming out of the bullpen. Stanek, okay. McCormick is still in the game. Did not get tossed for arguing the call. Adolis Garcia digs in, likely to be one of the starting outfielders as an injury replacement to be named for Aaron Judge. Number of good options there in the American League, but with 4 starters already, I think they might want to just go ahead and round it out, make it the story. Oh my! What a hit by Garcia. This one's going back to the track, at the wall, gone, and we have a brand new ball game. 10-10. Adolis Garcia ties it in the bottom of the 7th. What a game. Bullpen implosion this time for the Houston Astros. Wow. How many times can you say that for the Rangers? And now finally they come back against a team. How many times have they failed to come back from deficits against so many teams this year? For all the success the Rangers have had, they're like 0-29 when they're trailing going into the 9th inning. They have very similar numbers when they're trailing going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And for them to come back from an 8-run deficit today and tie it here in the 7th, absolutely impressive by this Texas Rangers team. Showing a little bit more grit than they have all season. And we have a brand new ball game. First pitch here to Young is a strike. He takes time after another strike is called on him. Or after he swings and misses at that one, excuse me. At his waist. But wow. Adolis got all of that one. One thing Adolis does is he always tries to swing for that type of a base hit. And always looking for the extra base hit. And he finally connects on one here today. And evens the score, 10-10. Not going to be enough here, though. It's going to require at least 21 runs to be scored total in this game for whoever's going to win. As Young strikes out there on the low fastball by Neris. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 7th. Jonah Heim due up next. 1 for 2 with a walk. A couple of runs scored so far. Martin Perez engaging with his team after his team picked him up after a very poor start. Now one misses inside, ball 1. Very good game for you guys. If you guys have missed it, I mean, the Astros got out to a very big early lead. Back-to-back home runs. Oh, this one's popped up high in the air. Will it get out of play behind home plate? Maldonado gives it a look. And it does, but McCormick led things off in the top of the 2nd with a home run. Diaz, back-to-back home runs there, made it 2-0. And then Tucker hit the grand slam, making it 6-0. Rangers added a couple in the bottom of the 3rd to at least make a game on a Leody Taveras 2-run home run. And then just as you think the Rangers are starting to get back in it, Astros pull away once again with 4 in the top of the 4th on a 3-run home run by Abreu. This one's popped up again by Heim, this time in foul territory. Bregman makes the play behind 3rd base, and there's 2 away. Aroldis Chapman looks like he's loosening out there for the Rangers. This will be his 2nd appearance, it looks like. He got the first pitch swinging here by Jankowski. Lifts this one out to medium left field. Julks makes the catch. And we go to the top of the 8th, tied at 10. Aroldis Chapman coming on for the Texas Rangers. Wow. Anyway, looks like Aroldis is on, replacing Cody Bradford. Maldonado will be due up first, followed by Altuve and Dubon. Now for the for the rest of the scoring anyway, we saw the 3-run home run by Jose Abreu anyway to get the 10-2 score for the Astros. Then the Rangers came back once again, a 3-run home run by Travis Jankowski, and then 4 runs in that bottom of the 5th inning. And we just saw the tying home run by Adolis Garcia in the bottom of the 7th. We got a brand new ball game. Rangers did not expect to have the ability or the chance to use a guy like Aroldis Chapman earlier in the game, especially when you consider you're down by 8 runs against a team like the Astros. You expect them to kind of lock it up and run away with it, but no. Here we are in the top of the 8th inning, and we have a brand new ball game. Maldonado 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He scored on that grand slam from Tucker. Altuve 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a strikeout. And Dubon 1 for 4 today. He's also committed an error in the playing field. Chapman, a very deliberate pitcher when he's on the mound. Sorry about that. Got a call right in the middle of that one. But you can kind of see Aroldis Chapman's a very deliberate pitcher. High 90s, low 100s pitcher. Average velocity on a 2-seamer is 101 miles an hour. 4-seamer, 99.5. High velocity coming out of that bullpen for the Rangers. A lot stockier build than he was when he first came up with the Cincinnati Reds. A little bit more effective this year than he was with the Yankees. How horribly that ended with the Yankees last year. Tapped this one off of his foot, and it's 0-1. Chapman, the big addition for that bullpen. We made a couple of videos about that here at the Upside earlier today. You can check those out here on our YouTube page. Sending out Cole Ragans and a 17-year-old Rony Carrera, an outfield prospect. Several years away from the majors. This one misses low, 1-1. Chapman does struggle with command from time to time. Downside of having great velocity is sometimes you can't really control where it goes. Nice off-speed pitch right on the outside corner, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Just a beautiful pitch by Chapman. That's his 3rd strikeout now in a Rangers uniform. Has some words for Jonah Heim, surprisingly, after that one. Okay. Allen misses low and in. 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Makes Altuve jump a little bit. 1-0. Got 25 of you guys with us right now. Really appreciate all the support. One pitch misses inside again. 2-1's the count now. Making Altuve jump a little bit now. Altuve has had some success against Chapman. Remember, he had that big home run in the playoffs. This one misses high, 3-1. Had the base hit the other day. The 3-1 pitch. Popped up behind home plate. Heim tosses the mask and makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. A little surprised Maldonado had some words for Jonah Heim there. Usually you see them argue with the home plate umpire about the strike zone, that kind of thing. I guess Maldonado wasn't too happy with that 2-strike pitch, or with the 2nd strike call. Usually expect him to argue with the umpire. He was actually arguing with Heim. As to why, I have no idea. This one's popped it back behind home plate, for strike one anyway. Again, Aroldis is a very deliberate pitcher, waits all the way until about 3 or 4 seconds usually to make his pitch. That one misses right at the top of the zone, not by much though. 1-1's the count. This is something the Rangers really didn't have back there, is somebody like Aroldis Chapman. Just overpowering heat back there. They didn't really have somebody like that. They've tried guys like Jonathan Hernandez. He wasn't able to locate his stuff very well. Jose Leclerc at one point in his career was very similar as far as his effectiveness to Aroldis Chapman, but he was also unable to find consistency this year, plus the injuries have kind of played a toll on his ability to throw for velocity. Dubon rolls over this one. Young, again, very sure-handed third baseman there, and the third out is recorded. Nice work there. Aroldis Chapman gets through it. Another scoreless inning for the Rangers' new bullpen addition. Goes through the lengthy check there after the inning, make sure there's no sticky stuff and all that. And we go to the bottom of the eighth. 10-10 is our score. Houston certainly has had their chances to put this game away. They were up 10-2. They've not played it cleanly in the field either. A couple of errors, one on Dubon, one on Julks. But neither one of those really resulted in anything big happening in either one of those innings. But in either event, it's now a 10-10 ball game. 10 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Houston. 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Brian Abreu is coming on for the Astros once again. It'll be Taveras, Smith, and Simeon. Curious to see if we see a pinch hitter for Smith in that number 9 hole. Maybe a guy like Mitch Garver or Ezekiel Duran. I think they might give Duran the day off because of his struggles right now. As far as the strikeout, maybe Garver could be the guy they go with as far as the pinch hitter. But in either event, Rangers with a chance to take the lead as we get close to the end of this ball game here. If they are able to take the lead, expect Will Smith to come out for the save. But a nice work by the Rangers bullpen today to at least manage the damage. I mean, to only give up 4 runs in, 7 2/3 innings worth of work so far today, that's just A-plus job today by the Rangers bullpen. Even the 3-run home run by Glenn Otto was really the one big mistake out of that bullpen. Just a middle fastball that Abreu absolutely clobbered into the upper deck in left field. And that was probably the one mistake Glenn Otto made. Other than that, the bullpen's been fantastic. Aroldis Chapman getting used to his new team, having some first time portent of good things to come if you're a Ranger fan. Chapman's a very mercurial talent, very emotionally driven type of a player. And coming into a clubhouse, settling in the way he has, having as effective of a performance as he has, his first 2 times out with the Rangers, could be a very good sign for what he's going to be for the Rangers going forward. This one bounces in the batter's box, ball 1. Trying to catch a glimpse of who might be in the batter's box or in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. The 1-0 pitch here to Taveras. Swung on and missed. 97 at the top of the zone. 1-1's the count. Taveras 2 for 3. 3 RBIs. Scored a run on that 2-run home run that he hit back in that 3rd inning. Nice fastball right there on the outside corner. Taveras was kind of locked up on that one. I guess he was expecting off speed and got caught kind of in the middle on that one. 1-2 is the count now. Takes his time. Digs back into the box and we're set. Rangers trying to get their leadoff hitter on. Nice hard hit ball right back through the middle. Nice work there by Leote. Did not miss that one at all. And he is 3 for 4 in the game, raising his average to 306 now on the season. Got some speed on the base paths, and now maybe you leave Josh Smith in there to bunt. Maybe you don't pinch hit. We shall see. Smith is probably the one guy on this team that can execute that bunt. They do indeed leave Smith in there. I'm expecting a bunt here. And he does square around. He gets it down, first base line. It's a good bunt. Does he get the tag is my question. Smith dove down as Abreu tried to tag him instead of throwing it to first for some reason, leaving there to be some doubt as to whether or not the tag would get down. But in either event, runner gets into scoring position now with less than 2 outs. Watching it. Yep, he does indeed get the tag. So the out is indeed recorded. A little bit of a risky play to go for the tag instead of just throwing it onto first or flipping it to first. I mean, if he was able to get underneath that, he slid into first base. Mound visit here by the Astros as they figure out how they want to go about this. It'll be Semien, then Seager, the 1 and 2 best hitters in the Rangers lineup right now. Semien takes outside, ball 1. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to walk Semien here with Seager coming up. He does have a tendency to roll over the ball sometimes, with as aggressive as he is early in the count, and he's going to be a little bit slower running to first than Semien will because he's going to try to hold off on using that hamstring. So would not be surprised to see them completely pitch around Semien here as that one bounces well in the dirt. Wouldn't be surprised if they just said go ahead and send him to first with a 2-0 count now. Rangers playing for 1 run. That would give them the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. First 4-game series sellout in Globe Life Field history since the Rangers built the new ballpark is this 4-game set against the Houston Astros. Very impressive. It's not too often you get a 4-game series, but Rangers very happy to sell them all out. Little grounder here. They do get Tavares to get in between. They throw it into right field. Oh my goodness. They had Leody Tavares in a bad base running mistake, and they throw it into right field. Everybody is safe. Bregman threw it over the head of the second baseman, and wow. They at least still keep the double play in order because Semien's still at first base. Seager is due up next, but a sacrifice fly now gets the run home. And just an absolutely air-mailed throw by Bregman to Altuve. Altuve is not very tall by any stretch of the imagination, but my goodness. What a mistake. The pitch by Abreu bounces into the dirt there. Seager waiting for his pitch. Wow. What a play. What a break for the Rangers, too. The 1-0. Little grounder foul. You can tell Maldonado's telling him to keep it down, keep it down, keep it down. Let him try to roll over the pitch, kind of like he did there, but it rolled foul. You don't want to miss up a little higher because if he does, that's at least a sacrifice fly opportunity. 1-1's the count here to the Rangers' best hitter this season. .349 average, over 1,000 OPS. Oh my! Off-speed pitch on the inner half of the plate. Absolutely in the wheelhouse for Corey Seager, and he's able to fight it off. Not able to launch it. That's the 3rd error, by the way, on the Astros today. That marks a season high for them. One and two now on Seager. The set and the pitch. This one's lifted. Left field. Julks gets it. Tavares should easily score on this sacrifice fly, though, and he does. No throw. The throw came into second base to keep the runner there at first. Sacrifice fly there executed by Corey Seager, and the Rangers take an 11-10 lead after trailing after 3.5 innings in this one, 10-2. They're now in the lead, 11-10 right now. Aroldis Chapman came in through a shutout inning, and what a game for the Rangers. This is going to be very much a team-building moment for them. Absolutely horrible start by Martin Perez, but this offense absolutely picked it up for the Rangers. Pickoff attempt there on Semien. Looks like they're trying to get Semien into scoring position. He does have a stolen base so far today. Nathaniel Lowe 0 for 4 today. really hasn't had anything going, aside from the patience at the plate, making the pitcher throw extra pitches, I guess. But he hadn't really hit anything too good. That one misses, and it's 1-0. Trying to understand where that one was, right at the edge, all those kinds of things with the home plate umpire. The 1-0. That one misses a little low. Maldonado again trying to hold it there for the umpire. But that one was a little bit lower than the last one, and you saw the conversation there between home plate umpire and Nathaniel Lowe saying, was that the absolute lowest pitch that you would call, or closest pitch that you would call a ball? And that one was even lower than that. So good take there by Lowe. The 2-0. That one misses well inside. Nice stop there again by Maldonado. You can see the praise he gets for his defensive work is well justified with all the just the stabbing pick attempts that he has. If those get by him, Simeon easily gets into scoring position. Adolis Garcia, who tied the game in the 7th with that solo home run, waits in the on-deck circle. The 3-0 pitch. Nice hard hit ball, but easily there is Jolks, kind of a soft line drive to left. But we go to the 9th. The Rangers in front, 11-10. 10 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors now in the game for the Astros. 11 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Rangers. And now we can officially say the errors have cost the Astros after that one thrown over the head of Jose Altuve, allowed the runner to stay in scoring position, get all the way to third base, and then Corey Seager delivered with the sacrifice fly. Now it'll be up to the Rangers to keep that lead intact right now. The Rangers bullpen has mightily struggled so far this year. They've lost multiple leads so far this year. Aroldis Chapman came in through a scoreless 8th inning, and now Will Smith comes on for the save once again. It'll be Kyle Tucker. It'll be Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve. Tucker had the grand slam back in the 2nd. Bregman had the RBI single back in the 4th, and Jose Abreu anyway had the 3-run home run back in the 4th as well. Should any of them reach, McCormick, who had that home run to get the scoring started today, would be waiting in the wings. But Tucker so far 3 for 3, looking for the cycle here today. He's missing one. He's missing the triple right now for the cycle. He's reached base via the home run. He's reached base via the double, the single. He's been hit by a pitch. I suppose the only other way he hasn't reached base is by an error or by a walk. So looking for the triple, though, to get the cycle. If he does, Astros would really have something cooking. Would not be surprised at all to see him try to pitch around him. But again, it is lefty on left, and they've been trying to bust him inside the entire game. So there is an opportunity here for the Rangers to try to secure the victory. Will Smith coming on for the save in the top of the 9th. Just an incredible game for the Rangers right now. Their ability to claw back into this one with this offense. The first home run of the season today from Travis Jankowski, a career-high RBI count for him. 5 RBIs today. Adolis Garcia got the game-tying home run in the 7th. And then Corey Seager, the go-ahead sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 8th. And here we are in the top of the 9th with a chance for the Rangers to put this one away. The first time they've led in the entire game. Will Smith on to do the job. So far this year, 30 games, 30 innings pitched, 2.7 earned run average, 33 strikeouts to 8 walks, a 162 batting average against. He's only had 1 blown save so far this year in 15 appearances, or 15 opportunities anyway. First pitch grounded up through the middle, and the tying run is on for the Astros. 4 for 4 today is Kyle Tucker. Alex Bregman up next. He would represent the go-ahead run at this point. Nice off-speed pitch there from Smith, and Tucker just took it where it was thrown. Not trying to do too much with that pitch. Top of the 9th, 11-10 our score. Make sure you drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Check out the videos on the Aroldis Chapman trade that we made earlier today as well. And what's next for the Rangers? That one misses just above the zone, 1-0 to Bregman. Bregman, who had the error in the bottom half of the eighth to allow that runner to stay on base and eventually come around to score. Looking for an opportunity here to make up for his mistake. Nice off-speed pitch right at the knees. 1-1. Rangers would love a strikeout or a double play. Astros would love pretty much anything aside from a double play right now. A productive out, a base hit, a home run. They would go with pretty much any of those options right now. Again, teams playing for 1 run late in the game. We saw the Rangers execute a sacrifice bunt to get Tavares into scoring position. Bregman's more of a power hitter. You will not see him square around. I wouldn't expect anyway. 2-1 here is the count. That one's in the dirt. 3-1 now. Smith struggling to find the zone with his off-speed stuffs. Haven't really seen him throw too many fastballs yet today. Up to 5 pitches now. What does he need for the cycle? A triple. He looks like he's going to miss the cycle unless this inning goes really long. This one's popped up behind home plate. I'm giving it a look, and this one will end up about 6 rows back. 3-2 now the count, though. He certainly will not be bunting in this situation. A foul ball on a bunt attempt counts as a strike and would be a strikeout in this situation. The 3-2 pitch. Another one right at the knees, fouled off. This one was a fastball. Nice work there by Bregman to stay alive. 3-2. Chapman was used in the 8th. Curious to see how they'll ultimately end up using this bullpen as they get down the stretch. Do they leave Smith in the role as closer? Do they kind of have a committee with Chapman and Smith? Do they bring in another former closer? Rangers have lots of options going forward with what they decide to do in that bullpen. Quick pickoff attempt there. And Tucker is barely able to get back in there safely. Looks like they're going to call time here. Tucker got dirt in his eye on that attempt to slide back in. Smith had a very good pickoff move. He threw it over there very quickly. Looks like they're good to go. Smith is set. And the pitch. This one's hit hard. Center field going back with room though. Tavares is there, makes the catch. Throws it into second, hits the cutoff man. Tucker does not advance, though. That was an opportunity for him to. Tavares' throw was a little bit offline. They would have had a chance to get him into scoring position with less than 2 outs. But they decide to play it safe and not force the issue and have another out on the base paths. Got 51 of you guys with us right now. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Jose Abreu is up next. Hit that 3-run home run. That was the last of the scoring for the Astros back in the 4th inning. The no doubt upper deck home run to left field. Nice off-speed pitch, but off the outside corner. 1-0. Abreu's also struck out a couple times here today. We'll see what he has to go against Smith with here. This one jams him, but looks like it'll hang up and over the head of Jankowski, and it gets away. Tucker's going to score easily. I don't know why Jankowski didn't just try to let it hit the wall and try to keep it to a double, but that'll go as a blown save here for Smith, and now we have 22 runs scored in the game. What an offensive explosion for both sides. Just a misplay here by Jankowski. I don't think he had a real chance at it. I mean, he gave it all he could, But I think the decision to jump at it was the mistake. I think if he had just even kept his feet and just kind of, like, you didn't even have to pull up, you could just try and stay on your feet, I think that would have at least kept Tucker at third base. In either event, Abreu stopped at second. This one left center field. This one gets down, and this one will score Abreu as well. The go-ahead run scores, and now it's a 12-11 ball game. Another blown game by this Rangers bullpen. An absolutely great comeback effort. Looks like it's going to fall short here in the ninth inning. Short of them coming back again in the bottom of the ninth, but what a situation, what a game. All the way around, Chas McCormick led things off with a home run in the second inning to get the scoring started, and now gets the go-ahead base hit, the go-ahead double into left center. Will Smith was not crisp on that pitch there to McCormick. That was the first one I've seen him really miss. Baseball is a game of inches sometimes. Chapman had it, Will Smith hasn't, and maybe this will open the door for Chapman to become the closer for the Texas Rangers, I suppose. Move Smith into the 8th inning role. Smith was not expected to be the closer when the Rangers broke camp this year. Kind of has been the one man that's been the most consistent for them, and we saw Josh Sborz, the other guy who's been very consistent for them, give away the game the other night. And the two best pitchers out of the bullpen for the Rangers this year give away back-to-back games now for the Texas Rangers, unless they're able to come back in the bottom of the ninth. The 0-2 pitch catches way too much of the plate, and wow. Jankowski was able to run this one down, though. Nice work there. McCormick advances on the play. Two away now in the top of the ninth. It'll be up to Julks next. 2 for 4 on the day. In case you're curious, the Rangers will have... doesn't show. I can't remember who it is, but we'll get that for you guys in a second as far as who's coming up for the Rangers in the ninth. Blown save here. And then the Astros get the go-ahead run there by Chas McCormick. Welcome in, Rudy. Welcome in, Paradigm. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Very good competitive game today. No pitching to speak of unless you're Aroldis Chapman, etc., out of that bullpen. Everybody else has been nicked up here and there in the bullpen. Bradford pitched well out of the bullpen for the Rangers as well. One pitch here to Julks. Misses low, 2-1. Curious to see if the Rangers get somebody up in that bullpen just in case this game starts to, or this inning starts to get a little long here for Smith. Maybe a guy like Joe Barlow to kind of close things down for them if they can't. It is indeed Ryan Presley loosening out there for the Astros, their closer in the bullpen. 2-2 after the foul ball here by Julks. Rangers 1 strike away from ending this ugly half inning for them. Julks has had a good day at the plate, 2 for 4 today. The 2-2 pitch. Little tapper to Corey Seager. Flips on to first. Nice dig out of the dirt there by Lowe, and Julks is retired. But we go to the bottom of the ninth. It'll be Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, and Jonah Heim. 4, 5, and 6 for the Rangers. Adolis Garcia already has one big moment in the game. We'll see if he can add it on again. Had a game-tying home run in the 7th. We'll see if he can do the same here in the 9th. Am I streaming tomorrow? I haven't looked at the schedule yet tomorrow, to be honest. I know we got some family things going on, but I will be definitely putting out some more content later on this evening and tomorrow as well. And we're going to try to look and see what games we have possibly to celebrate the 4th with you guys here at the Upside. Posted a couple of other videos today as well on our Texas Rangers channel, Upside Texas Rangers. Make sure you subscribe and follow us there as well. If you're familiar with us here at the Upside, you know we try to keep you guys informed as best as we can. Going to start getting back into this pretty consistently again. Got our trading card business that's about to break ground again on eBay, and get that going here by the end of the week. So make sure you follow us there as well if you guys are interested. Have some giveaways coming up in the next week as we do some of our live streams to kind of promote the new trading card business I've got going. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. It's on Bally Sports right now, Rudy. That's where I'm watching it, but I know a lot of people don't get Bally if you have Dish or any one of the other TV networks out there. I think only 3 carriers right now have the game: cable, direct, and I think Fubo has it. Other than that, you got to search for the game elsewhere. Unless, of course, you're an out-of-market Rangers fan, then you can watch it on MLB.TV, I suppose. Adolis Garcia's had a very good game both offensively and defensively. We'll see if he can add to his great day today. He's already had a pretty good game, but at some point you'd like it to be enough for the Rangers, I suppose. But 11 runs is not going to do it. You're going to need to score 13 today if you're a Ranger in order to win this game. Ryan Presley is done taking his warm-up pitches. Looks like he is ready to go. 36 games and 36 1/3 innings, thrown a 2.72 ERA, 39 strikeouts to 7 walks. He's blown 3 saves so far this year. Little tapper here by Garcia. Dubon gets up with it and makes a nice strong throw over to first. Great defensive play there by Dubon. Significantly better than that error we saw earlier in the game. Trying to make up for it with some supreme defense there. Josh Young digging in. He's 2 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, scored a couple of runs. See what he has here for Ryan Presley. First pitch, low and away, ball 1. All you need is a base runner right now if you're the Rangers. You don't need to try to do too much. Young from time to time will expand the strike zone. I believe in Presley. I would too if I'm an Astros fan, as that one misses beneath the zone. But Young chases, and it's now 1-1. Looks like he's missing a little bit with his location here, though. Misses with that one. 2-1 now. Looks like he's not happy with the way the mound is sitting for him. Keeps kind of looking down at his feet. Got 44 of you guys with us. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Really helps us out. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, we really would appreciate it. This one's lifted into left center. McCormick over. Makes a nice kind of a half dive there and makes the catch. Nice work there by McCormick, and the Rangers are down to their final out. Looks like they're just double checking, making sure that ball didn't pop out of his glove. Nope. That was a secure catch all the way. Jonah Heim due up next. 1 for 3 on the day, has a walk, scored a couple of runs as well. But he'll need to reach here for the Rangers to keep this thing going. Nice off-speed pitch right down Broadway. Had some good movement on it too. Presley with the very good pitch there. 0-1 here to Heim. Another one misses inside. Low and away. Or low and in, excuse me. 1-1. Heim does possess quite a bit of power. It's been a minute since he had a home run, though. The 1-1. A little bit of a chase. Nice tailing action on that pitch there. Just off the outside corner. Gets Heim to swing and miss. Heim takes his time here. 1-2 is the count. Heim has had some success in these walk-off moments before. Late inning moments. We'll see if he has another one in him. Rangers trying to keep that 4-5 game lead on the Astros. If the Astros were to complete the victory here today, the lead would be shrunk down to 3. Rangers win, that would go back to 5. This one's tapped foul. Remains 1-2. The set by Presley. And the pitch. Lifted high but foul down the third base line and out of play. And we'll do it again. Looks like Presley's got his command back now. We'll do a live for you guys tomorrow. Let us know in the comments section after this one ends what game you guys think we should do tomorrow. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called right on the outside corner, right at the knees. Heim just kind of looks at the umpire, but he agrees that one just caught enough of the plate, and Astros complete the victory. They take 3 of 4 here from the Rangers and climb within 3 games now of the American League West leading Texas Rangers. What a game, though. Just kind of starting from the top anyway. Astros jump out to a 6-0 lead. McCormick leads things off in the second inning with a home run off of Perez, followed by another home run by Diaz. Then they get a grand slam from Tucker, and that was pretty much the book for Martin Perez. Glenn Otto came in and at least steadied the ship for a little while. Fourth inning, he ran into a little bit of trouble with the 3-run home run by Abreu and the base hit by Bregman driving in another run. Kind of made it 10-2 at the time. In the third inning, though, Leody Taveras had the 2-run home run. Travis Jankowski had a 3-run home run to at least make it 10-5. Rangers scored 4 in the 5th inning to get it to a 10-9 ball game. Adolis Garcia tied it in the 7th. Aroldis Chapman came in the 8th inning, pitched a very lights-out inning there against the Astros. He was dominant. A couple of strikeouts once again for Chapman. And then Rangers got the go-ahead sacrifice fly from Corey Seager. Will Smith came on in the 9th. Blown save there, and the loss for Will Smith as well. Tucker got a base hit, and then the misplay, I believe, by Jankowski allowed another runner to score, although that ultimately would have been a moot point because immediately following that, another base hit off the bat of one of the Astros hitters, and that was all she wrote. Astros win it 12-11. But appreciate you guys for joining us here today. Appreciate you guys with all the support. Thank you for streaming. Yeah, absolutely, Saul. Anytime. But appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as we'll be posting a couple more videos for you later on this evening. And we'll see you guys tomorrow with a live stream of another baseball game. But thank you guys, and y'all have a great evening.